Buy it, sell it, trade it, or enjoy it. The Party Line, weekdays on KWVW Hutchinson, 1450 AM and 98.5 FM. It's 6 o'clock.
This is the Kansas Kickoff Show. Powered by kpreps.com and Sports in Kansas. The only statewide high school pregame show in Kansas starts now.
Good evening, football fans, and welcome to Week 7 of the Kansas Kickoff Show, powered by kpreps.com and Sports in Kansas, and presented by American Implement, Next Tech Wireless, The Safe Project, and Think Before You Post. Along with Matt Gilmore from kpreps.com, Chet Copeland from Sports in Kansas, as well as kpreps.com and Sports in Kansas contributor Connor Nickel. I'm your host, Sean Boston, as we prepare you for week number 7 of the high school football season right here in the Sunflower State. Let's go ahead and set up the show for you tonight. In our first segment, we will take a look back at week number 6, what stood out, as well as some of the stat leaders across the state entering week number 7. And then in our second segment, we will take a look at the rankings from Class 6A down through 8-man Division 2. And in our third and final segment, we will take a look at the games to watch here in week number 7. All of that next on the Kansas Kickoff Show. Matt will bring you in first here tonight, and a lot of fireworks in week number 6.
Yeah, incredible scoring last week, and we look at this game down in Southeast Kansas, 8-man Division 1. This is Marmaton Valley beating Oswego 106-98. Yes, you heard that correctly, 106-98. The combined points, the 204 combined points, sets the single game record for 8-man football. The old record was 184, set back in 2016 when Onega beat Valley Falls 114-68. And it also set a record for the most points by a team which lost a game, which used to be Logan scored 82 and lost 84-82. So if you look at that game, I mean, 106-98, it was tied at 98, and then Quincy Adams from Marmaton Valley, a 33-yard touchdown run on some misdirection and reverse, and with 6 seconds left to break that 98-98 tie. And you look at these two teams, and Marmaton Valley's, they're 4-2, and so this was a lot higher level football than people maybe would think, being all offense and no defense, but just an exceptional record scoring game. Andale put up 96 points last week in a 96-6 win over Wichita Trinity. So certainly some scoring anomalies when we look back at the scoreboard late on last Friday night.
And, Matt, what else stood out to you? I know the Holy War in Wichita lived up to the expectations of the hype that it had.
Yeah, it was a great game. I mean, it was, not a high number of possessions. Each team controlled the ball well, 14-14 at half, and then Carroll scores on a long touchdown run to open the second half. And so, and they eventually win that one 27-21 and get a late turnover there. And so it was just a high-level football game. That was, thoroughly enjoyable, and they looked like two teams who were legitimate contenders on the in Class 5A and on the western side. You look at Blue Valley rallying to beat Bishop Miege with a touchdown with under 30 seconds to go. The shootout between Madison and Chase County at the 8-man ranks, and so a lot of great games last week. Wellsville and Osage City, I'm sure we'll talk about into that great game that Wellsville really just controlled from the onset. So a lot of great games this time of year as we wind down district play. We're starting to see the brackets start to fill out, and we'll get those up pretty soon, but starting to crown district champions and playoff spots are being clinched and teams being eliminated. So it's that time of year, Sean, and it's a lot of fun right now as we dwindle down the number of teams and get ready for playoff time.
Chet, quickly we'll come to you. Stat leaders coming into week number 7.
Of course, Henry Martin of Blue Valley North leads all passing yards in Kansas at 2,149 this season. Blake Reeder of Shawnee Mission Northwest with 1,585. Wyatt Drewhard out of Chaparral, 1,583. Has not played football since the 8th grade. What a season he is having. Harrison Voth of Cheney, 1,533. Dalton Whitworth, the first-year starter out of Rock Creek with 1,460. A first-year starter, Mac Armstrong out of Bishop Miege with 1,415 yards. And Hudson Ferralis out of Heston, the sophomore. He's played in just 5 games, but 1,358. You look at rushing yards, 1,674 by Caden Martinez of Natoma, who plays in the 6-man ranks in just 5 games. Holden Barker of Crest, 8-man, 1,489. Evan Cantu out of Mays South this year, 1,371 in 6 games. And Keandre Smith of Caldwell with 1,299. As Legend Robinson having a big year as well for Hoisington, 1,283. Looking at receiving yards, Tyson Schruber has over 800 yards receiving this year for Canton Galva. Jay Schoen of Lakeside, 677. Ethan Burgess of Rock Creek, a big year with 656. And, of course, Blue Valley Miller, a huge year, 645 through 6 games this year. A lot of big years so far for stat leaders in the state of Kansas.
All right, thank you very much, Matt and Chet. We'll step aside for our first timeout. When we return, we'll take a look at the rankings from 6A down through 8-man Division II. You're tuned into the Kansas Kickoff Show.
Here at American Implement, we're proud to be part of the communities we serve. And that's the reason we support local youth through scholastic activities like FFA, 4-H band, and sports. We firmly believe that the right activity can bring out the best qualities every child has to offer. And we wholeheartedly want to support and be involved with that. It's part of our responsibility as a good neighbor, and we're proud to call your community our home also.
Fall is in the air, and so is a crisp new deal at Nextech Wireless. Loyal customers and newbies alike, trade in your tired old device, get a new phone on us. Stuck somewhere else? No worries. We'll pay off your contract so you're free to switch and free to choose your new free phone. So visit the right people with the right deals and get the best phone on the best network. It's time for something different. Nextech Wireless. Certain restrictions apply. See store for details.
Seatbelts Are For Everyone is a proud partner of the Kansas Kickoff Show. Seatbelts are for everyone.
When we do our safe observations at our school, almost everybody is on their phone.
A lot of students at the school and even adults always need to reply to that text or email or phone call or whatever while they're driving.
Having everybody focus on the road would be probably one of the biggest challenges we have.
I'd like to see a lot more people pay attention to what's going on. I always do my best to pay attention. I'm not on my phone. I don't think any text message is as important as your life.
I think a lot of people are on their phone while they're driving to kind of keep up a social image when really, in the long run, it doesn't matter more than your life or the life of somebody else.
The Think Before You Post Power of Social Media Tour has been in over 160 schools in Kansas. The message is great to talk about social media etiquette, viral posting, digital citizenship, online reputation, online criminal activity, texting and driving, and positives and negatives of social media. Book today at sportsinkansas@gmail.com. In over 160 schools in Kansas. The Think Before You Post Power of Social Media Tour is powered by Mammoth Horse Construction, Nextech Wireless, Seatbelts Are For Everyone in Watco.
Here's farmer and landowner John Prue.
We purchased the land about 3 years ago, and there was an old farmstead on there with trees. We were going to clear the land so we could farm through it. We thought we knew where the pipe was, so we didn't call to get it located. The work on our property led to the damage of a light crude pipeline. Fortunately, no one was hurt, but it could have been much worse.
Never assume the location or depth of underground lines. Always call 811 or visit clickbeforeyoudig.com before you start work. A message from the Pipeline Operators for Ag Safety Campaign.
What does a school bell bring to mind? The day's end? Or the end of school entirely? As in kids dropping out. At Communities in Schools, we're helping at-risk students whose ability to show up for school is jeopardized by hardships.
They've always had my back. They've always done anything to help me.
Anytime I needed support, they were there.
We work in schools to help kids stay in school.
Communities in Schools never gave up on me. They told me I can do it, and I did it.
See how we help all students succeed at communitiesinschools.org.
If you talk, they will hear you.
Why are we getting killed like this?
Kyle's not here. Got caught drinking beer in the park a couple of nights ago.
Really?
Yeah. 0 tolerance. He's out for the season.
Harsh.
Hey, he knew not to drink. We've made that clear to all of our kids, right?
No, not really.
Bill, if we don't tell them what we expect and why they shouldn't drink, how are they going to know?
Talk. They hear you. For more information, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
The end of summer is always a sad time for us here at Pools Plus. Swimming pools are all closed up, but grills and fire pits are lit up for fall. And Pools Plus has the perfect outdoor furniture setup to help entertain your crew. Come to Pools Plus and shop all the fun, bright-colored rockers, Adirondacks, tables, and more. Buy a spa and search for the downtown Hutch Pumpkin during October right here at Pools Plus. Shop local. Shop Pools Plus, 21 East 1st in downtown Hutchinson.
Need to send someone money? Pay a babysitter? Split the bill? Use FirstPay. It is the person-to-person payment option located right inside your online banking app. There is no need to download an additional application. It is simple, safe, and secure. We're first for you. Visit fnbhutch.bank to learn more, or click on your First National Bank app to get started. You can also stop into a location nearest you, and we're happy to help. First National Bank of Hutchinson, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Welcome back to the Kansas Kickoff Show, powered by kpreps.com and Sports in Kansas.
Back here on the Kansas Kickoff Show, powered by kpreps.com and Sports in Kansas, presented by American Implement, Nextech Wireless, The Safe Project, and Think Before You Post. Along with Matt Gilmore from kpreps.com, Chet Copeland from Sports in Kansas, who is presented by Mammoth Sports Construction and Watco, as well as kpreps.com and Sports in Kansas contributor Connor Nickel. I'm your host, Sean Boston. Back in our first segment, we took a look back at week number 6 as well as looking at the stat leaders going into week number 7. Here in this second segment, we will take a look at the rankings, and then our third and final segment, we'll take a look at some of the games to watch throughout the state here at week number 7. So let's start in Class 6A. Matt, Lawrence Free State at number 5, Olathe North at 4, Blue Valley at 3, Blue Valley Northwest at 2, and the Panthers of Derby at number 1 in Class 6A.
Yeah, top 3 here remain the same. Derby, big win over campus last week, 70-21. They have a big showdown with Mays this week, and this is, Mays team to beat them last year, and we'll talk about that here in a little bit. Blue Valley Northwest, they handled Blue Valley North 35-21 in what I thought would be a good test for them. They'll be at Aquinas this week. Blue Valley beats Bishop Miege 31-28. They score on a touchdown with about 23 seconds left. Michael Solomon, a 10-yard run. They were down by as many as 11 points in the second half of that game, and the Tigers rally late and win at 31-28. They'll be at Blue Valley West, which should be a competitive game this week. And then Olathe North back in the poll. They stumbled a few weeks ago, lost to Olathe West in a game that they were really shut down, but they've won a couple since, beat Shawnee Mission East 56-14. They'll play Lawrence this week with a chance to go 6-1. And then Free State, you mentioned, 0-6 last year, just decimated by injuries and by COVID, and back into the poll, 5-1 already this year, beat Olathe South 33-14, and then Olathe West, a team that was at number 5 last week in Manhattan, both lost last week. Manhattan to Washburn Rural, and Olathe West to Mill Valley, so both of those drop out of the poll. So a little bit of change at the bottom half of 6A this week.
Moving down to Class 5A, Spring Hill, still unbeaten at 6-0. They are number 5. Mays at number 4. Cape at number 3. Mill Valley at 2. And Bishop Carroll remains at number 1 in Class 5A.
5A, such a great classification of football. Of course, Mill Valley has been the king here. Bishop Carroll has been in that position as well. And, of course, Bishop Carroll picking up the big win over Capon, 27-21, in an outstanding game at Cessna Stadium. Both Olthusen brothers got a touchdown. Chase Marsh was big as well. Mill Valley beating Olathe West, who was ranked last week. Of course, this week, Capon at Liberal make the long road trip out there, who is 3-3 on the season. Capon 5-1. Amari Elias has been outstanding for them this season. Mays beat Mays South last week, all over them, 49-27 in that one. And Spring Hill, how about them? 6-0 on the season under Coach Feeback. Of course, this is a team, you look at them, not played a ton of 5A competition, but, of course, Frontier League, pretty tough football, and they've taken care of business, beating Tonganoxie last week in overtime. Other teams to look for, St. Thomas Aquinas is 2-4, but I still very much consider them, Wichita Northwest, as well as even a Hayes team that's 5-1 this season. And Andover is a team that not a lot of people are talking about that I feel like they should be.
Moving down to Class 4A, McPherson slips down to number 5 after their first loss to Buhler. Buhler up to number 4. Andover Central drops to number 3. Baser Linwood at 2, and Bishop Miege remains number 1 in Class 4A. Mats?
Yeah, Miege still holding down the top spot despite their 2-4 record, as we mentioned a little bit earlier, that 31-28 loss against Blue Valley. So their losses have now come by 3 points each in the last couple to Rockhurst and to Blue Valley, and so. Miege is certainly going to be a factor come playoff time. You look at Baser Linwood up a couple of spots to number 2 this week. They're still unbeaten. They routed Kansas City, Washington 54-0. They'll get Lansing this week. And then Andover Central was kind of the surprise last week. Maybe a trap game ahead of their showdown this week against Andover, but they go to Salina Central and lose that one 21-14. The Jaguars dropped just one spot this week to number 3, just ahead of Bueller, who they defeated. And Bueller had a big win last week, beating McPherson 42-30. Bueller and McPherson round out the poll at number 4 and number 5. So a lot of good representation on the west side of 4A in the poll, and those 3 teams very even, as we've seen in their head-to-head contests.
Moving down to the ever-so-deep Class 3A, Frontenac at number 5, Holton at 4, Cheney at 3, Wichita Collegiate at number 2, and the Mighty Indians, who hung up 96 points on the scoreboard last week, they remain at number 1 in Class 3A.
Guys, it's incredible how good that A&L has been here as of recent, winning 31 games in a row. There may be only a handful of teams in all of the classifications in Kansas that can beat A&L. I feel like they can compete in almost any class. Not saying they're going to beat Derby, but I feel like they can compete in most classes and be ranked in almost every class in Kansas. Wichita Collegiate all over Clearwater, 45-14. Back to A&L, though. They won 96-6 last week, but only threw 4 times in that game. Cheney, of course, has been outstanding all year. Harrison Voth continues to have a big year. Luke Grace has been a breakout player as well this year, beating Holcomb 25-14 last week. Holton beating Hiawatha 48-14. A big matchup against Rock Creek this week. And Frontenac and Prairie View, another matchup to look at as well. The Raiders are 5-1, beat Anderson County last week as well. There's a lot of really good teams in this class, though. I really like Girard. I like Concordia a lot as well. You know, we talked about Pratt earlier this season. Prairie View is battling some injuries right now. Riley County, unbeaten on the year, southeast of Saline. Not a lot of people talking about them. This is so deep, top to bottom. And even Galena has won 5 games in a row. And Parsons, 4-2 on the season. So a lot of good teams. And I didn't even mention Topeka Hayden, whose only loss is to Seaman. So really, this goes over 10 deep in this classification. 3A loaded.
Down to Class 2A, Hoisington at number 5, Chaparral, the Roadrunners at number 4, Wellsville at 3, Silver Lake at 2, and Rossville at 1 here in Class 2A, with, of course, the War on 24 coming up tonight.
Yeah, and you mentioned it. The headline in 2A this week is going to be certainly the War on 24. Silver Lake and Rossville, always an outstanding rivalry, and it's the last several years it's been in this Week 7, and this game going to be at Silver Lake. So those two certainly heavy favorites in their district, and this will go down and to maybe decide who's the favorite on the East, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. Wellsville up a couple of spots to number 3. They went to Osage City, who was number 3 last week. That was our K-Preps game of the week. Again, number 3 versus number 5, and Wellsville just routed them 35-12, and actually Osage City scored late in that one. But Nash Money, a huge game for the Eagles, and a very impressive victory for Wellsville on that one. They get Humboldt, who's just a one-loss team this week, and so that'll be another challenging game for the Eagles. Chaparral, you mentioned at number 4, they rout Belle Plaine 56-21. Should be heavy favorites against Douglas this week. And then Hoisington comes into the number 5 spot. They beat Ellsworth 21-13. The Cardinals in at number 5. There are a lot of teams that are very even right here. This is very close in the voting. Big game to watch for just outside the poll is Cimarron at 5-1 against Thomas More Prep, who's at 5-1. Other teams to watch for and the Kingman, Hillsboro, St. Mary's, who's 3-3 and very good. Nemaha Central 4-2, and Beloit. So get a little more depth maybe than we expected in Class 2A.
In Class 1A, Centralia at number 5, Sedgwick at 4, Smith Center at number 3, the Teutons of Inman at number 2, and Opie remaining at number 1 in Class 1A.
1A continues to have Olpe at the top as they beat Jackson Heights 35-0. They're at Northern Heights this week, and this is a team only allowed 12 points all season. I really feel like Olpe is the favorite to repeat once again after winning it all last year. But how about Inman? They've been really good out in central Kansas this year, out in the Wichita area. They have outscored opponents 354-3. No, that is not made up. That is incredible this season. They're at Whitewater Remington this week. Smith Center, they beat their rival Plainville 28-25 last week. They're at El Saline this week. Sedgwick, of course, continues to impress with Lance Hofsommer at the quarterback position. And this is a very high-flying passing attack all over Whitewater Remington last week. They're against Elkhart this week, so Elkhart makes the long road trip to the Wichita area. Elkhart 4-2 this season. And Centralia all over Horton last week as they continue to impress at 5-1. Also look for other teams like Conway Springs, Wabaunsee, and as well as a Plainville team that battled Smith Center at 3-3 this season.
Down to the 8-man Division 1 ranks Meade at number 5, Joaquini Trigo at 4, Canton Galva at number 3. They were open last week. Madison at number 2. And the Redskins of Little River at number 1 in 8-man 1.
Yeah, you mentioned Canton Galva, and they weren't going to play this week either, but picked up a late game with Stafford here just on Thursday, I believe. And so the Eagles very, very close to going a couple weeks without playing, but remain in that number 3 spot. You mentioned Little River up top again. They no trouble with Bennington, 50-0 in that one, and they'll be at winless Harrington this week. Madison, we mentioned in the open, just a big-time shootout last week in that district game with Chase County. The Bulldogs win it. The Madison Bulldogs win it 66-50. Bryson Turner just a huge game in that one, well over 360 yards in that one and 8 touchdowns. And so Madison well on their way to that district championship. Big matchup this week is Bikini Trigo, as you mentioned. They'll take on Hill City, who's 5-1, and Hill City, a team that started out at our rankings but was beaten by Leota Wichita County a little bit earlier. Trigo is 6-0. Hill City 5-1. That'll be a great one to watch for this week. And then you mentioned Meade in at number 5. They are 6-0. They beat Leota Wichita County last week, who was number 5 in the poll, 49-24. Just a big game in that one and held them off. And they'll take on Nest City this week.
And Chet's our last classification, 8-man Division 2. Osborne at number 5, Frankfort at 4, Victoria at 3, Thunder Ridge at 2, and Axtell still at number 1 in 8-man Division 2.
Axtell continues to be the number 1 team in the state in 8-man Division 2. All over Lynn last week, 58-8. They're against Wetmore this week, who is winless. Thunder Ridge beating Osborne last week, 44-34, in a battle of course, rivals and 2 teams that are in the top 5. And then you look at this week, they have Frankfort, another huge matchup. And Frankfort beating Hanover, who surprisingly this year has 3 losses. But, of course, it shows that maybe there's going to be a new team here in 8-man Division 2. Victoria all over Wilson. They're at Tescott this week. And Osborne, of course, as we mentioned, losing to Thunder Ridge. They're against Southern Cloud this week. Buckland looking for their best season in school history. They're 6-0. Caldwell is also having an outstanding season. Quinter and Wheatland Grinnell, who played earlier, Wheatland Grinnell beating them, but both at 5-1 this season. Lebo, another team to look at, as well as South Barber. So a lot of good teams here, but I feel like some of those teams near the top of the rankings definitely have separated themselves so far in the conversation of 8-man Division 2.
All right, that's a look at the ranking from Class 6A down through 8-man Division 2. We'll step aside for our final timeout. When we return, we'll take a look at some of the top games to watch across the Sunflower State as we prepare you for week number 7 of the high school football season right here in the state of Kansas on the Kansas Kickoff Show.
The end of summer is always a sad time for us here at Pools Plus. Swimming pools are all closed up, but grills and fire pits are lit up for fall. And Pools Plus has the perfect outdoor furniture set up to help entertain your crew. Come to Pools Plus and shop all the fun, bright-colored rockers, Adirondacks, tables, and more. Buy a spa and search for the downtown Hutch Pumpkin during October right here at Pools Plus. Shop local. Shop Pools Plus, 21 East 1st in downtown Hutchinson.
Need to send someone money? Pay a babysitter? Split the bill? Use First Pay. It is the person-to-person payment option located right inside your online banking app. There is no need to download an additional application. It is simple, safe, and secure. We're first for you. Visit fnbhutch.bank to learn more, or click on your First National Bank app to get started. You can also stop into a location nearest you, and we're happy to help. First National Bank of Hutchinson, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Welcome back to the Kansas Kickoff Show, powered by kpreps.com and Sports in Kansas.
Back here on the Kansas Kickoff Show, powered by kpreps.com and Sports in Kansas, presented by American Implement, Next Tech Wireless, The Safe Project, and Think Before You Post. Along with Matt Gilmore from kpreps.com, Chet Copeland from Sports in Kansas, who is presented by Mammoth Sports Construction and Watco, as well as kpreps.com and Sports in Kansas contributor Connor Nickel. I'm your host, Sean Boston. Back in our first segment, we took a look back at week number 6 as well as looking at the stat leaders going into week number 7. In the second segment, we took a look at the rankings from Class 6A down through Class 8-man Division 2. And here in our third and final segment, we will take a look at some of the top games across the state to watch here in week number 7. We'll start off with the big one, the Ark Valley Chisholm Trail League Division 1, as 5-1 Mays travels to 5-0 Derby. And Matt, we'll start with you.
Yeah, big one that we circle as you look at the 2021 season, especially for Derby, who, you look at the Carroll game in Mays and then potentially Mays South at the end to be really the games that could challenge the Panthers. Obviously, last year, this was the one that Mays won this game, 36-35. They were down. I think this were the last 10 points of the game, got a field goal from Cole Seagraves, and then a touchdown right at the end, and then he kicked the winning extra point. So, obviously an outstanding game, a lot of great athletes on the field. Mays with a lot of momentum. They stumbled there a couple of weeks ago with that loss to Arc City, but they come back with big wins over Salina South and then last week over Mays South, their rival. And how about beating Mays South 49-27? And you think of Mays and you think of Avery Johnson at quarterback, but they rushed for 342 yards against Mays South, 6 touchdowns, 206 yards and 3 scores from Deshaun Carter, and then Avery Johnson himself with over 130 yards on the ground and 3 scores. And he's been over 130 yards each of the last 2 weeks. And so maybe adding that element for something to account for. He's over 1,100 yards passing on the season. Carter's nearing 700 yards on the ground, and obviously Bryce Cahoon and Justin Stevens are outstanding receivers for the Eagles, and so they're going to present a challenge for the Derby defense, no doubt. The question will be is can Mays slow down the Derby offense, because they are averaging 59 points a game, 387 yards on the ground, and Dylan Edwards behind that enormous and outstandingly talented offensive line. He's nearing 1,000 yards, 12 touchdowns, and all Dylan Edwards is doing is averaging nearly 14 yards a carry. So it'll be interesting to see if they can slow them down. Mercer Thatcher at quarterback, he hasn't had to throw the ball much this season, but he is over 400 yards and 8 scores. And so we'll see if Mays can slow them down. I mean, I think Derby's still the favorite no matter what, because I think that with that offensive line and the speed in the backfield, that they're going to be a challenge for anyone. So at home, I'll take the Panthers.
All right, Connor Nickel will bring you in for the first time here tonight. It's a big one in Andover, crosstown rivals, Andover Central at Andover here from Andover District Stadium.
Yeah, and these two teams, match up always in very, very close games. This was a 7-zip game. Last year, we thought in K-Preps in the summer that both teams were going to be really, really good. First of all, Andover 5-1, a 3-point loss against Mays in week 1, and since then they have shut down some very high-powered attacks. This is the 3rd straight year Andover is top 6 in 5A in scoring defense, and this year so far they're actually first. Central is actually 4th in 4A scoring D. So first and foremost, expect a very low-scoring game tomorrow night. I like Andover overall. They've got a great RB in Max Middleton, who's got around 2,000 rushing yards the last 2 years. Chandler Goodnight on defense has delivered an exceptional career. Their quarterback's a second-year starter. For Central, Ashton Barkdale is their great two-way player, and he will likely be a game-time choice. He has been banged up. He's put together back-to-back really quality seasons. Of course, Central's quarterback, Kai Kuntz, came over from Capen and has put together a strong year. But this is going to be a very low-scoring game. I like Andover to win, but this may be a game with a combined 20 or so points total.
Matt, back to you for this one, a big one in the northeast part of the state, the War on 24, as unbeaten Rossville travels to one-loss Silver Lake.
Yeah, one of the state's best rivalries and one of the most well-known, certainly. For years it was the last game and decided who went on to the playoffs. And then they were meeting twice and meeting, in the state semifinals. And, they've still met 15 times, I think, over the past 10 or 11 years. And Silver Lake's won 10 of those. But Rossville they split the last 2. And Rossville's obviously become much more of a power over the most recent years with Coach Hamas. And no different this year. I mean, they're dominant. They're very senior-laden. Torrey Horrick, their outstanding quarterback, is nearing 900 yards 9 touchdowns passing. He's rushed for over 650 and 10 more scores. And then Corey Catrone out of the backfield as well. But this is a complete team from the offensive line. Defensively, they're very good. And they've gone through some good teams. I mean, you look at Centralia, who's ranked in Class 1A, Rock Creek, St. Mary's, all of those are very good teams. And Silver Lake is going to be obviously a rival, and it's going to be a big-time atmosphere. But the Bulldogs have certainly prepared themselves thus far with their schedule. When you look at Silver Lake, you look at Dakin Kruger, over 1,000 yards passing already. Gannon Reimers is outstanding running back, and can run catch the ball out of the backfield as well, and catches all over the field. And so he's really a go-to guy on offense. And so Rossville's carrying this long winning streak, 19 games into this one. And I think if you look at this, Rossville against some of the same Mid-East League competition, Rossville's been a little more dominant. Silver Lake's had to squeak by Rock Creek by just a touchdown, 1-point win over St. Mary's, who we know is very good. Then obviously the loss to Riley County. And so you look at this one, I think Rossville's still the favorite, even though they've got to go on the road. But these two teams, obviously the class of that district, and among the best, certainly in Class 2A.
All right, thank you very much, gentlemen. And that will conclude this week's edition of the Kansas Kickoff Show. Special thanks to Matt Gilmore from kpreps.com, Chet Copeland from Sports in Kansas, as well as Kpreps and Sports in Kansas contributor Connor Nickel, and all of our great sponsors, including American Implement, Next Tech Wireless, The Safe Project, and Think Before You Post. Until next week, this is Sean Boston saying so long. Enjoy Week 7 of the high school football season right here in the state of Kansas. You've been listening to the Kansas Kickoff Show.
You've been listening to the Kansas Kickoff Show, powered by kpreps.com and Sports in Kansas.
To the right side. Mahomes will hold it. Hold it, fire late back to the end zone. Caught! Touchdown! Kansas City! Potato chips for everyone! Byron Pringle atones for the fumble.
This Sunday, the Chiefs head to the nation's capital to try to get back on track against the Washington football team. Pregame starts at 11 right here on your home for Kansas City Chiefs football.
Our coverage begins at noon with the kickoff here on KWBW Radio.
Welcome to the Hutchinson Salt Hawk Football pregame show. We'll give you the ins and outs of tonight's game, plus lots of other useful or useless information. It's all in how you look at it. Now, settle back and get set to enjoy this week's Hutchinson Salt Hawk Football pregame show.
Well, hi, everybody, and welcome to Hayesville, Kansas, the home of Campus High School. That's where we are tonight. It's time for the Salt Hawk Football pregame show. I'm Glenn Grunwald, joined by Dan Nacarado. Coach Nack, here we are at Hayesville. A little cooler night, but still a good night for football.
It's a great night for football.
And it is a great night for football. And, boy, did we ever have a great night last Friday night. Let's talk about that senior night. That was possibly the last home game that the Salt Hawks will have this year, depending on the playoff situation, what happens. If we can get a couple more wins, we might work ourselves into at least a first-round playoff situation. We're kind of smack dab in the middle again of that 5A standings in the West, and we'll talk about that a little bit more. But let's talk about that nice win that Hutch High had the other night over Salina South.
Well, it was Nick Lang's first start as a varsity quarterback, and he really made the most of the opportunity to let his team down the field for 452 yards of total offense. That's pretty impressive. He completed some passes, actually completed 5 passes, threw for 2 touchdowns, and he did a good job running the offense. And also, as we talked about last week, it gave Noah Kokar the opportunity to get the ball more frequently in open space, and Noah had a fantastic game, 120 yards receiving and a touchdown, and then tack on another 61 yards running the ball.
Yeah, he had a great night the other night, playing extremely well. Just like we said, the facet that we talked about was him. His yards after the catch was fantastic. We'll have a highlight in just a little bit that will show that. But I thought Lang did an outstanding job. And, you know, the one thing about this game that we played against Salina South, at the end of quarter 1, nothing score. Hutchinson tried to punch it in from the 1-yard line, did not get it in. That's one time when Kokar did come in at quarterback, and you and I both looked at each other and went like, whoa, this is going to maybe be a night. The stars aren't shining in our direction, but that was not the case. The next 3 quarters was all Salt Hawk.
Especially that third quarter, Hutchinson did everything you could ask for and ended up winning the game 41-7. In runaway fashion, actually. And how about Nolan Cunningham getting a pick 6? That's not something you get to see every day.
He had 2 interceptions for the night as well. The first score for Hutchinson came with a great pass from Lang on play action, but lofted a high arching pass, and O'Sullivan caught it at about the 6, wide open at the 6, took it into the end zone. Hutch went on top 7-0. And then one of the plays, it was a 33-yarder. The call went to Zach Hogan, and it sounded like this.
Long snap count by Lang. Turn, give to the right side. Hogan straight ahead running across the 40. He's going to break loose at the 35, all the way down to the 30. He's loose again. He's down to the 20, 15, 10, touchdown Hutchinson. Hogan broke about 3 tackles at the line of scrimmage, got the first down, and just kept churning, and he gets 6 on the board for the
Just a great run by Hogan, Dan. He bounced off 2 different tacklers twice. He broke 2 different tackles, maybe 3, like I described in the highlight there, right after he got to that about 5 yards past the line of scrimmage, and he was off to the races. That was it. All of a sudden, it was 13-0. Hutch was on top.
Zach Hogan has been willing to move around and play different positions in the backfield this season. That was the run that you and I looked at each other and said, wow, he has arrived. And he ended up picking up 173 yards on 13 carries. He scored 2 touchdowns on Friday night.
There was one highlight that was on social media that I put that showed just as you were explaining why Lang was at quarterback, and it gave us another option with Kokar, and that play was perfect as the pass by Lang over to Kokar, and that left flat picked up the first down. Kokar got yards after the catch, and that's what I'm talking about. When he catches the ball, you can always count on him getting yards after the catch, and it was good for the first down, and that was just one of the plays. But this play is a play in the second half where he went 80 yards after catching the ball at the 50. It sounded like this.
Quarterback spot. Now he gets an opportunity. He's going to sit up wide out on the right side off the line of scrimmage. More than likely a passing situation. There's Lang back in the pocket, looks ahead, throws the ball as a receiver. Out there, it's caught at the 50. There goes Kokar. He's down to the 20, the 15. It's touchdown time for Hutchinson. Hutch put 6 on the board. They lead it 13-0. What a
Noah Kokar is very special as a junior. He can do lots with the football in open spaces. I love to watch him run, and he is a talent out there. There's a talent that's good this year. He was good last year, and I can't wait till next year when he's going to be great.
He's an electric player, and thank goodness that we get to watch him the rest of this year, plus another season next year in a Salt Hawk uniform.
Yeah, he's a special one. There's no doubt about that. So Hutchinson was able to put points on the board. Separated themselves from some South, never let South get back in the ball game. They got a score late in the contest, but some backups were in there as well. That's another thing. In the fourth quarter of play, a lot of new faces out there for the Salt Hawks. Got some valuable playing time.
That's right. You like to get the other players who pay the price in practice every day, do the weightlifting, do the off-season things. You like for them to get opportunities to get a little bit of action under the bright lights on Friday nights.
Yeah, no doubt about that. So, so now here we are at Hayesville. We're going to talk about Hayesville in just a second, but it's a little bit cooler. Is that going to have anything to do with the outcome of this ball game?
I really don't think so, but you're right. It is getting to be more fall-type football weather. Sometimes it creates a little bit of moisture on the football, makes it a little bit harder to hang on to. Occasionally you'll see a few more fumbles when the weather turns cold, but I really don't think that's going to be an issue tonight.
So it sounds like fun. So we're going to take a break, and we'll be back with more from Hayesville. We're at Colt Stadium here, getting set for some football action coming your way in just a little bit. We'll be back right after this.
The Memphis shop, the medicine shop. When you drop your prescriptions off, the personal care you'll find there will make you feel all better. The meds you need, delivered with speed, the lowest price guaranteed. Get your prescriptions with no hassle at 14th and Main at the Little White Castle. You'll feel all better at the medicine shop.
Hutchinson High School Sports is on air thanks to these outstanding Salt Hawk boosters. The Medicine Shop, Portfolio Recovery Associates, Hayden's & Co. Salon and Beyond, American Family Insurance Agent Travis Rodenbaugh, APAC Shears, Pools Plus, First National Bank, Next Tech Wireless, the Summit of Hutchinson with Doctors Lowen and Severud, Prairie Star Health Center, Ashcraft Pharmacy, Axel's Taxi, and Edward Jones Financial Advisor William Thacker. Thanks for listening.
Well, welcome back on the Salt Hawk Football Pregame Show. Glenn Grunwald, Dan Nacarado with you. Matt Peterson also with us. I hope you're doing the video photography tonight for the ball game. Hope you enjoyed some of the highlights that we had on the different Facebook pages from this last week. Matt's been doing an excellent job. He's a freshman at Hutch Community College. Glad to have him learning how to do that trade, and he's doing a very good job with it, catching those highlights. And he learned from a pretty good one, I have to say that. His sister Sarah did it since she was 12 years old. She did it for like 6 years, and he's been able to pick that up, and we're glad to have him along tonight.
Sarah and Matt are both delightful people, and we're just thrilled to have them with us. Sarah's at Hutchinson Community College this year, and Matt, the freshman at Hutchinson High School, and hopefully he'll want to do this for many years.
Yes, no doubt about that. All right, let's talk about this Colt team that we play, the Campus Colts. They've had a tough season, a couple tough seasons. They had won 4 in a row from us. I remember when we had a long winning streak against them, and they came into Gowan Stadium and tripped up the Salt Hawks, and then they put 3 more after that. We were finally able to get the nice win over them last year, but they're struggling a little bit this year.
So far, the Campus Colts are still looking for that first victory in 2021, but a couple of years ago in 2019, Campus came and played Hutchinson without any wins at that point in the season, and they tripped up Hutchinson High School and won that game 38-21. One thing about games with Campus, they are running the same offense that Hutchinson runs. Coach Jamie Cruz came over from Pratt, a school where he went all the way to the state championship game in 3A and just barely lost in overtime in the 3A state championship game. And then he accepted the job at Campus a couple of years ago. And it's been a rough go as far as wins and losses go. 1-8, Coach Cruz's first year, 1-8 last year, and this year so far 0-6. But it's a team that you got to watch out for because they can move the football and they can put points on the board. They're scoring some pretty impressive performances against good teams, and they have a team that can move the football. Last year, if you like offensive football, last year Hutchinson put up nearly 500 yards in that game, and Campus put up 350 yards. So we expect to see the ball moving up and down the field a little bit tonight, Glenn.
I think it is going to go up and down the field, and that's what Coach Vernon thinks, too. He says that he knows, and our kids know, this is not a pushover game. It's going to be a tough one. So he says it's well aware. He says he thinks it's going to be a pretty good ball game, and that's when we met for lunch this week.
A lot of respect between the Hutchinson coaching staff and that Campus coaching staff, and it's sincere.
No doubt about that. Well, there's some injuries, and that's one reason this could be close. They're starting to sneak up on us a little bit. We know that Kinzer Newquist's been banged up, but he's played hurt, and he's played well hurt. He'll still be back out there. But Ragosa is one that we lost, and we'll have lost probably for the season.
Yeah,
and there's a couple other ones that are banged up as well. Hernandez is banged up, and a couple others as well.
Landon Dixon and Gabe I are both out, and it becomes sometimes a war of attrition in high school football.
Another time where we play the flex bone. Now, one thing good about that, when you play the flex bone, you practice against it in practice. That makes it a little bit easier to see some tendencies, see some things, and coaches that coach the flex bone usually know how to defend the flex bone.
And the Hutchinson High School football staff, I think all of those guys have PhDs in flex bone by now because It's just been a staple of Salthawk football for so many years. At campus, this is the third year that they are running the flex bone, and it takes some time to figure out what you do in different situations with that offense.
I know that Coach Vernon said that they do throw a different variety that we don't throw into the flex bone, so that might have a couple different looks.
A few years ago, Hutchinson went to exclusively what Hutchinson calls the Navy formation. It means there's a wide out on each side and there are no tight ends. At campus, sometimes they run it in that formation and sometimes they do bring a tight end into the mix. Now, the beauty of having a tight end is it gives you a few more options with power plays that you can run that you really can't do without a tight end. The downside is you've got to spend that extra practice time of installing a few more things that you will do.
This last week, Nick Lang showed that he could run the football a little bit, and he doesn't have blazing speed, but he was able to pick up first downs a couple times on an option of his own. What I like about it, he gets it out there, looks like he's going to run, and all of a sudden he pitches to Kokard, and he does a great job on that option on the outside. 2 or 3 times we were successful with that.
That's right, and also the fact that he fights for that extra couple of yards after contact. And that's kind of impressive, too, that you're not always going to find a quarterback that looks like a fullback when he's finishing a play.
Well, the other thing that we're doing offensively that I think is interesting, sometimes we have Kokar in the slot. Sometimes he split out as a wide receiver, not the farthest wide receiver, but they split that slot out a little bit wider, and that's where he was when he caught the 80-yard touchdown. There's a couple of different opportunities for him there, so that's good to see.
The other thing that we both had commented on when you put Kokar in one of those slot positions, now the rocket toss becomes much more of a factor, and that's a play that everybody is sprinting right or everybody's sprinting left, and you try to beat the defense to the outside and turn it upfield. And that hasn't been quite as much of a weapon before putting Kokar in that position.
Yeah. That's changed that also. One other face that we saw, and we saw glimpses of his speed, and that's the wide receiver, Terrell King, one of the wide receivers. He's actually a defensive back, but on the kickoff return, on the one kickoff return we had the other night, he had a nice return for about 30, 35 yards out, and he showed that what he could do with some speed.
That's right.
He's a freshman.
He's another one of those young players that the future is bright.
All right, well, we're going to get set and take a break, but we're going to come back, and when we come back, we're going to have the keys to the game. As Coach Snack's going to point them out, we'll be back with more from Campus High School. We're actually at Colt Stadium right after this.
Hutchinson High School Sports is on air thanks to these outstanding Salt Hawk boosters. The Medicine Shop, Portfolio Recovery Associates, Hayden's & Co. Salon and Beyond, American Family Insurance Agent Travis Rodenbaugh, APAC Shears, Pools Plus, First National Bank, Next Tech Wireless, the Summit of Hutchinson with Doctors Lowen and Severud, Prairie Star Health Center, Ashcraft Pharmacy, Axel's Taxi, and Edward Jones Financial Advisor William Thacker. Thanks for listening.
Now through December 7th is your annual Medicare D sign-up period. The Hutch Medicine Shop once again is the one and only place you need to consider to help get your best plan. Throw away any literature you receive in the mail and don't be misled by TV ads. If you want to get your meds local and get the best prices, come to the Medicine Shop. We'll input your drug list and find your best plan. Medicare D sign-up is now at the Hutch Medicine Shop in Midtown.
It's time for the keys to the game. Welcome back to the Salt Hawk football pregame show. And Dan Nacarado, we always sit down with Coach Vernon and pick his brain a little bit on during the week. We usually do it on Wednesdays and go to a local eating establishment. We move it all around town, and we're seen out and about sometimes with Coach Vernon. And we talk about the keys to the game, and he kind of tells us what he thinks the keys to the game are. So this just isn't you and I coming up with them. But, Dan, what are the keys to the game specifically? Let's first of all talk about how will Hutchinson stop a flex bone that campus is going to throw up against us.
Absolutely. That's a key to the game, to be disciplined on filling gaps. When you're facing a team that runs the option, you have a defensive lineman that has to tackle the fullback, a linebacker has to tackle the quarterback, and then usually a defensive back or an outside linebacker has to take the pitch man, and you can't start trying to do other people's jobs. You got to make sure you maintain discipline cover the person you're supposed to cover.
So again, Hutchinson practices that every week, so that should not be a problem. Same way the other way around. How's campus going to stop Hutchinson? Again, it's the same offense that they're running.
And it is an advantage when you face a team that runs the same offense you run, because your defense saw it throughout the preseason as you were preparing for the season. So both teams should be very well aware of what they're going to see and what they're supposed to do defensively. But with all of that said, I still think we're going to see some points on the board tonight.
Coach said that we need to be gap disciplined and also be physical. That's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen right there. The Okie defense that campus puts up against Hutchinson has been giving up some points. So it's going to be athlete upon athlete is what it's going to come down to.
That's right. When we say Okie defense, that's 3 defensive linemen. There's a nose tackle right over the center, and then there's a defensive tackle, usually head up with the offensive tackles. Then you have a couple outside linebackers, and you have 3 other linebackers. So it's kind of a 3-5-3 type of format on the defense. The problem with that is if your linebackers and your defensive backs don't get especially aggressive, you can find some gaps, and then when you're not having to block everybody because you're reading some of the defenders, you can pick up some yards. So defensively, Hutchinson will go back to the standard 4-4 type of defensive approach and have an extra defensive lineman in the game.
What's also going to be important, because Lang will go back and throw the football once in a while. Chase Kepler's had a really good year offensively. He's done a good year. Doobie's done a good job at center as well. Both those guys on the offensive line, the whole offensive line's done a good job, in my opinion, of giving, when we do decide to throw the football, a good time to do just that.
Coach Sean Harper has been coaching O-line for a long time, and he was one of the best Salt Hawk players ever when he played the O-line. A team leader, a team captain, and he's been a fantastic coach and teacher at Hutchinson High School. Give him a lot of credit for developing a good offensive line year in and year out.
It's interesting to me the other night how well that Lang threw the football. I know he gets reps in practice. He gets reps before the ball game, but he primarily was a wide receiver and really wasn't seeing that much action. I think he came in for a couple of downs, but he stepped in and did a really good job. Not that Noah Kokar didn't. It's just a matter that he's 6'6". He can see over that line, did a nice job, just smoothing the transitions from what I saw.
He was ready to take snaps. There's no doubt about it. He was well prepared, and he did a good job. And you're right. We've talked many times. Both players are very good at quarterback, but the team might be more potent when you can move Noah Kokar around, have opportunities to get him the ball through different ways.
For some of campus's points this year, because they've had such a tough season, some of those points might have came after the game was already decided.
That's correct. I mean, sometimes their opponent has already substituted their offensive players and defensive players, and the campus starters usually stay in for all 4 quarters because they're behind, and sometimes they pick up a couple of scores late in games.
We were looking at the West standings. The top 5 only have 1 loss amongst each one of them, 1 loss. Hayes is 5-1, and you go on down the list. Then you get to the middle of the pack where Hutchinson is. We're 3-3 along with a couple other teams. That makes this game pretty doggone important for the postseason coming up. That's 2 weeks away.
It's absolutely critical for Hutchinson to have a good possibility of hosting Week 9 for that first playoff game. They really need to pick up a win tonight, and it wouldn't be a sure thing unless they pick up a win next week against Mays also.
I think both are going to have to be wins for sure. This one's going to have to be a win. Mays is above us in the standings as well, so we'd have to take care of business there. And, of course, I'm talking about the 5A. Where that falls. So both Mays South and Mays are both up above. Now, Mays handled Mays South surprisingly easy last week. I was shocked at that score also. I think it was 49-27, but you were looking at the scores early in the game.
Yeah, Mays jumped out
right
from the first quarter.
No doubt about that. Well, that is the keys to the game. Once we get the rest of the pregame going, as we'll come back live from campus Stadium, Colt Stadium here in Hayesville, and we'll try to get things going here in just a little bit. Thank you, Dan.
Kickoff's just right around the corner.
You betcha. Dan Nacarado, with yours truly, Glenn Grunwald. Matt Peterson's getting set on the video, so we'll be back with more from campus. That's going to wrap up this week's Salt Hawk Football pregame show. Don't forget to join us next week. It's brought to you by Medicine Shop in Hutchinson. We'll be right back.
Thanks for listening to the Hutchinson Salt Hawk Football pregame show. Join us 30 minutes prior to each and every Salt Hawk game, each week throughout the entire football season. Kickoff is just minutes away, so stay tuned, and thanks again for listening.
The Hutchinson Blue Dragons will be on the road in Highland this Saturday to take on the Scotties. Hi, everybody. I'm Glenn Grunwald, inviting you to join the Eagle Radio Sports Team and catch Papa John's Countdown to Kickoff at 12:30 p.m. from Highland, followed by the kickoff at 1. Hutch CC Sports on Radio, brought to you by
Ashcraft Pharmacy, Brick House Boutique, Midwest Ford and Toyota, RB Drive-In, Salt City Pond, and the Sportscaster Club members, Portfolio Recovery Associates, Dr. Robert F. of the Hutchinson Clinic, doctors and staff of the Green Vision Group, the Summit of Hutchinson with Drs. Lowen and Severud, and BW Radio.
It's time for Hutchinson Salt Hawk Sports on BW Radio. The Salt Hawks are brought to you in part by First National Bank, H&R Block, Pools Plus, Next Tech Wireless, APAC Shears, and the Medicine Shop. Also thanks to these Salt Hawk boosters, Hayden and Company, the Summit of Hutchinson with Drs. Lowen and Severud, and American Family Insurance agent Travis Rodenbach. Now your host for Salt Hawk Sports, Glenn Grunwald.
Oh, what a beautiful night for football. We are on campus in Hayesville, Kansas, on the campus of Campus High School, so to speak. I'm Glenn Grunwald, joined by Dan Nacarado. And Dan, one of my favorite sayings in a movie from Harold Jones, who is in radio, is I love football. I love everything about it. I love Friday nights when you're looking for a win and Saturday morning when you found one. That's one of my favorite sports quotes of a sports movie, and that's what the Salt Hawks are looking for tonight. They're looking for a W. So is Campus High. They have not won yet this year. They'd love to upset the Salt Hawks. It is a beautiful night for football.
It's a great day for football.
Campus Colts have just been introduced as senior night here, so they had a array of parents walking in with their seniors, and the band's out here for Campus High, and now the Salt Hawks make their way out to bust through their banner. And this game, week number 7, this football season has just flown by at warp speed for me. I don't know about for you, my partner, but we're about set. We're one game away from getting set for playoff football coming up.
Time certainly flies when we're having fun, and anytime we get the chance to watch Salt Hawk football, it's a fun night for us. It's a good football team. They lost a couple of close games to Garden City and Mays South, and this is a Salt Hawk football team at Hutchinson that's not too far away from being 5-1 instead of 3-3.
Yep. A quarterback changed last week. Noah Kokar moved back out to either a slot or even a wide receiver, and boy, did he put up some yards, 120 to be exact. He had a fantastic night. Nick Lang came in and threw a couple touchdown passes, actually 3 to be exact. And then, again, Zach Hogan with 173 yards and 3 touchdowns. He had a night to remember, and Hutchinson was able to come away with a win 41-7. We talked about that on the pregame. This campus team played Derby, and Derby hung 70 points on them. The biggest thing was we heard that was done with 19 plays, and that's pretty prolific.
Derby has a quick strike offense with some pretty impressive athletes that can run, and they're big and strong too.
We invite you to watch this game. Just go to HutchPost.com, go to the sports tab. You can pull it up right there. Go to the Salt Hawk Sports Network Facebook page, or watch it on the Hutch Post YouTube channel as well. Tomorrow morning it'll be uploaded to the NFHS channel, and you can watch it there. We've been getting close to 1,000 views every week, so we appreciate you folks tuning in by way of HutchPost.com or the Salt Hawk Sports Network as well. I want to say hi to all our grandmothers out there that are watching from different parts of the state of Kansas, as well as Sophie Hill down in Texas. Sophie, our heart is with you tomorrow, as of course, Mr. Hackney's young player, Devin Hackley, for Hutchinson. His father passed away, and they'll be laying him to rest tomorrow. Our thoughts and prayers will be with you, Sophie. We always know that you're tuned in as the captains now head out on the field to flip the coin and see who is going to defend and who is going to kick off, and we'll have more coming your way in just a little bit. We're going to take a 1-minute timeout. Dan and I'll set the stage for this ball game. It's Campus versus the Salt Hawks of Hutchinson. We're going to take a 60-second timeout. We'll be back right after this.
If you or your loved one is 65 or over, it's that time again. Time to review your Medicare Part D coverage. Plan options change every year, but Ashcraft Pharmacy, your locally owned Health Mart pharmacy, can help you make sense of it all. We have special software that can help you compare plans and choose the best options so you get the medications you need at the lowest out-of-pocket cost. Stop by Ashcraft Pharmacy in South Hutchinson today, or give us a call to set up your free Medicare plan review. Health Mart, caring for you and about you.
Forward, always moving, never stagnant. Together, nothing great is ever accomplished without it. At Fee Insurance Group, we've been working side by side with our clients for more than a century. Together with individuals, organizations, and communities, we look ahead to protect the people, places, and things they love. We're Fee Insurance Group. Forward, together.
Welcome back to Campus High. Game time temperature 70 degrees. Wind out of the directly out of northwest at 13, gusting up to about 15 on the pregame. So we'll keep you abreast. It's supposed to get a little cool tonight. Actually, right now, it just switched over to 59 degrees. So we're glad to have Matt in the booth with us this evening. Is keep him nice and warm and toasty rather than being on top of the press box here. And we're about set to have Hutchinson kick off the Campus. So Campus will be having the first possession of the ball game, Dan, as they elected to receive. So we will see what's going to happen here.
Kansas Jayhawk Conference head of officials Craig Helzer is actually working this game as the white hat tonight.
Okay, we've seen him around quite some time, and here comes the toe into the foot. Runyon kicks it away, and it's going to sail into the end zone, I believe, for the touchback. And it will be Campus football as they start the first possession of the ball game. They'll be led by quarterback Brody Johnson. He'll be the starting QB out there. And Campus, who Hutchinson beat last year, before that, Campus had rolled off 4 straight wins between these two clubs.
Hutchinson won 42-28 last year. Hutchinson gained nearly 500 yards in that game.
Here we go. Campus first possession. They'll split wideouts on the right side. Down under center is Johnson. The turn. The give to the first man through around the outside. He's going to be thrown for a loss. Nice job over there on the tackle.
Nolan
Cunningham coming up strong on the hit as they pitched it back to the running back, and I think that was Dylan Sheeler that took it around that right side. We'll get numbers and catch up with you in just a second. As also back there,
might have been Buckles.
It might have been Garrett Denning as well, one of the running backs. He's in there, number 14. So it's on the right hash mark, second down, and we'll call it 11 from the 19-yard line of Campus. Little confusion, giveaway, straight ahead, running out of the flex bone again, and pick up a maybe 3 yards on the carry. Cunningham again on the bottom of the stack there, coming up with a tackle, but a pickup of about 4 yards. It'll bring up a third down and 7.
Greg Slade was the head coach here at Campus for 20 years, and 3 years ago in 2019, Coach Jamie Cruz came over from Pratt to take the job here at Campus High School. Coach Cruz, a good friend of Hutchinson's coach, Mike Vernon.
Yep. Splitting out wide is Dodson on that left side. He'll split out in a wideout spot for Campus High, and again, Brody Johnson under center. He's a junior, sends a man in motion, wants to throw the football, comes up, gets hit as he throws it, incomplete pass, as good coverage downfield out there by Hackney. And I think he got belted from behind, got his arm, and it ends up being a fourth down punt situation already for Campus.
Hutchinson defense with that 3 and out. Want to wish a belated happy birthday to Dean Yanis, the father of Hutchinson defensive coordinator Scott Yanis. Always appreciate Dean's support for Salt Hawk football.
Good job back there by Dixon and others and company putting on some pressure on the quarterback Johnson, so they're going to punt the football away. And
sideline warning flag against Hutchinson. That's no yardage, but if they get flagged again, it'll be yardage the next time it happens. That just means the players are getting too close to the field of play who are not in the game.
Kinzer Newquist on his own 40 set up to receive for the Salthawks. Kind of a partly cloudy sky here. There's a kick that's going to hit and bounce short, and it's going to take a Hutchinson bounce and bounces past the 50 down to the 45. They're going to mark it at about the 43-yard line of campus. So that one took a bounce and went the other way. Normally those balls kind of bounce and roll toward the, well, in this case, the north. But Hutch will have great field position here. Sets up 1st and 10 on the campus. We'll call it 44-yard line. So Hutch with a great opportunity. Malachi Miller will split up wide on the right side. And again, Hogan will be the tailback in this situation. Man in motion, they'll throw it on the outside. Catch is made by Kokar, a little hitch pattern over there at the 40. Step forward and picks up another yard. It'll be a pickup of 5 on the play. And that'll be a 2nd down, and we'll call it 5.
In the last 20 years, that may be the 2nd time I've ever seen Hutchinson come out and throw a pass on
the very first down. So now Hogan will be at that tailback spot. Actually, Burgess is set up in that tailback spot on that last play. I was in error. On the left slot will be Kokar. He's in motion. The give to Hogan. He's got a big hole. He's forward for about a pickup of close to 5 yards. I think they're going to give him on the first down. That'll move the chains. 5 yards what he needed, 5 yards what he got. Just underway, 10-14 to go in this first quarter of play. No score as of yet. Hutchinson first possession after they held campus to 3 and out and got a very short punt. Hutch now setting up 1st and 10 on the campus 39-yard line. Well, this great field position, Dan, is just what the doctor ordered. Kokar gets the pitch, spins off, and then he goes down immediately. Just got enough of him to get him down. Loss on the play of about 3 yards. It'll bring up a 2nd down and 13.
That was a very impressive play by Christian Seacard, who also is a starting running back for campus. He came up from his defensive back position. He read the play, knew it was going to be rocket toss, and he got about 5 yards deep in the backfield. He ended up throwing Kokar for a loss. 2nd
down and 13 now. Kokar split wide left and now Miller wide right. Want to throw the football. Lang goes down the field. Incomplete pass. Intended receiver was Kokar, but he had double coverage down there. And broken up by Denning.
Good coverage.
So, key 3rd down and 13. 3rd and long.
One of the differences between campus and Hutchinson, campus starts 3 or 4 or 5 players on both offense and defense, where Hutchinson pretty much platoons exclusively. Very seldom do you see a player on the other side of the ball.
Again, the quarterback is Lang up under center. He's got Hogan in the backfield, man in motion. Hands it around on the end around, trying to turn the corner out there, and a flag on the play. That's going to be Hogan coming out of a slot back out there. A late flag came in, got back to about the original line of scrimmage. Yeah, it looks like it's going to be against Hutchinson, so they'll get another 3rd down try out of this one. Blocking the back is going to what the call is going to be.
It's wisely declined by campus because that brings up a 4th and about 8.
So 4th and 8 or 9 out there for Hutchinson. See what that big offensive line for Hutchinson can do. Doobie the center. You got Chase Kepler on that right guard position. Seitz is on that left guard position. Let's see if they can hold long enough for Lang to get a good pass away, because it definitely is a passing situation now. In and out of the Salthawk line, I'm checking out is O'Sullivan.
It's taking a long time for Hutchinson to figure out what to do. They might have to burn a timeout.
And they will. They're going to burn a timeout. So a timeout on the field with 8:49 to go in this first quarter of play. Timeouts taken. Hutchinson facing a key 4th and 9 situation on the campus 34-yard line. We'll be back in 30 seconds.
The end of summer is always a sad time for us here at Pools Plus. Swimming pools are all closed up, but grills and fire pits are lit up for fall. And Pools Plus has the perfect outdoor furniture setup to help entertain your crew. Come to Pools Plus and shop all the fun, bright-colored rockers, Adirondacks, tables, and more. Buy a spa and search for the downtown Hutch Pumpkin during October right here at Pools Plus. Shop local. Shop Pools Plus, 21 East 1st in downtown Hutchinson.
8:49 to go in quarter number one. Big call coming up here, 4th down and 9.
Hutchinson thought Campus would accept that penalty, and they were not prepared for Campus to decline it. That changed the complexion of the situation.
Here we go. Lang wants to throw. Going to go long. Has a receiver out there. Catch is made by Kokar. 6 on the board for the Salt Hawks from 34 yards out. What a strike by Lang.
He hit him right in stride. It was a perfect pass, and give credit to Noah Kokar to get some space between him and the coverage, and he caught the ball.
He had nobody else he was going to. Very easily, his main intended receiver on one-on-one coverage out there was Kokar, and he threaded the needle right to him. Kokar made separation right around the 5-yard line and took it in for 6, and Hutch is on the board with 8:43 to go in quarter number one. That was a 4th down and 9 call, Dan.
That was a big play.
Here's Runyon's kick. It is on its way. It is up, and it is good. And Hutchinson, with 8:43 to go in this first quarter of plays, on the board with a 34-yard touchdown strike from Lang to Kokar. We'll be back for the Hutch kickoff right after this 30-second timeout.
Apex Shears has deep roots in Kansas. This is Tom Stivers. We were started by George Shears in 1874, just 3 years after the founding of Hutchinson, and are Hutchinson's first contractor. Apex Shears is known for big highway projects, but think local when you need a new driveway, parking lot, or other paving project. Apex Shears is proud to provide local jobs and employ local people. Find out more about your local construction and aggregate company by visiting apexshears.com, a CRH company.
Welcome back. 8:43 to go in this first quarter of play. Hutchinson is struck for a 34-yard touchdown pass from on a 4th down and 9 call to lead it 7-0. And boy, did they strike and strike quickly.
That's what you call a very good timeout.
Yeah,
they came out of the timeout and scored a touchdown.
When I saw Lang crank up, he was looking one place, and that was for Kokar. And Kokar was able to get that separation at about the 5-yard line and caught it at the goal line. Good for 6. Here comes Runyon's kick. Kickoff is going to be ticking at about the 5-yard line. Fumbled but picked up, and on the return, here comes Campus. Campus up in a big collision at about the 16, 17-yard line, and that's where Campus will set up shop. Again, out there for Hutchinson, getting the job done defensively, and doing a good job is Ben Patterson, senior linebacker, is able to, on special teams, get the stop down there.
Ben means so much to this football program through his leadership, his talent, and his skills.
Ball's at the 17 for Campus, their second possession. First one was 3 and out. And they'll set up with the quarterback, which would be Brody Johnson. Whistle on the play, stoppage of play, and Campus is excited. Maybe they got somebody to move on that defensive front, and it will be. It'll be a encroachment penalty against Hutchinson. They'll mark it at the 22-yard line. It'll be a 1st and 5 for the Campus Colts. So one of the linemen a little anxious to get going. Now Campus sets up 1st and 5. Turn and give straight ahead running and picking up about 2 yards on the carry. Bring up a 2nd down and 3 call. And just getting off the last out of that stack right there was the fullback that carried the football.
I want to send out a quick shout out to Melissa Lepp. She does a fantastic job with the Salt Hawk Football Facebook page, takes pictures.
We had to do our own selfies tonight, didn't we?
We had nobody to come here and draw characters.
At the Slider Shack.
That's right.
So, anyway, we miss Melissa. She is a maid of honor in a wedding down in St. John tonight. Johnson barks out the signals, moves his fullback a little bit closer, puts a man in motion. Now he's going to keep it himself. Johnson around the right side and carries forward up to about the 32-yard line. Enough for the 1st down. It'll move the chain. Nice stop out there by Cunningham.
Well-executed option play by Brody Johnson. He read it well, picked up the yardage for the first down.
1st and 10 Campus. Nose of the football at about the 31-yard line. Hutch leading at 7-0. If you just tuned in, a 34-yard touchdown pass from Lang to Kokar on 4th down and 9. Was able to score it from 34 yards out and leads to 7-0. The turn and a big stop in the backfield. Johnson did not have a chance as coming in defensively that time. Again for Hutchinson is Braden Rodriguez. Rodriguez on the stop and just pancaked him after about a yard gain on the carry.
When we had
Second down
lunch
and
with
9.
Coach Vernon earlier this week, one of the things he talked about is he wants that Salt Hawk defense to play physical football. That was pretty physical on that tackle.
Yeah, Cunningham's been playing physical. Nice job by Rodriguez, who's showing what he can do at linebacker spot and also playing a little D end out there. Hutchinson will set up in that 4-man front. Man in motion to pitch on the outside, trying to turn the edge and will hit and knocked out of bounds after a pickup of about 6 yards on the carry. As the running back for Campus gets up, and that's going to be number 14, Garrett Denning. Nice job on the tackle. And that'll set up now a 3rd down and 3.
Was a good lead block out there to seal the edge and give some room on that rocket toss play.
Johnson, the quarterback, up under center again. Again, they're in the flex bone. Man in motion. Keep by Johnson, straight ahead running. He's short of the first down. It's going to bring up a 4th down and 1. As Hutchinson came up with that surge. And again, that was Rodriguez out there. Also, Patterson was leading the charge. They get to get the first down, so he got across the 40. I didn't think he got but to the 40, but they gave him the first down on it.
That was a friendly spot.
1st and 10 for Campus. Johnson, man in motion. He fakes off, and now they'll reset the slot. 5:33 to go in his first quarter of play. Quick moving first quarter of play. Hutchinson leading at 7-0. 1st and 10 from the 41 for Campus. Straight ahead running again. And a nice tackle out there, coming up and doing a good job defensively. It was Christian Jansen for the Salt Hawks. Picks up about 4 yards on the carry, or bring up a 2nd down and 6. So 2nd and 6 to call with 5:03 remaining to go in this first quarter of play. 7-0, Hudson with the early lead. So the ball is right at the 45-yard line of Campus. And again, a 2nd down and 6 call. Johnson trying to keep it. He's going to be hit by Patterson, but then he slips away, picks up a couple yards. I thought Patterson was going to have one heck of a stop right there, set him up straight up. But another favorable spot brings it out. It's 3rd down and about 3 from the Campus 48-yard line. So Ben stood him up right at the 45, but he was able to slip away and carry forward for a pickup of 3 more yards. 4:15 and clock moving away. So key down right here on 3rd down and 3, close to midfield for Campus. Johnson pitches on the outside, and nice play by Newquist for the loss. He was able to wrap up the running back, Christian Seacard, and throwing for a loss. That'll back it up. It'll be a punt situation for Campus.
Campus might just try to go for it. You never know when a team is 0-6. Sometimes they'll roll the dice, but they are sending the punt team out.
Yeah,
on
too
the
early
field.
in the ball game, Dan, is they're going to send Aiden Hess out there to kick it away with 3:40 to play. What a play by Newquist, and remember that for a highlight, as he did a good job of getting out there to make the tackle. As Newquist had to get him around the ankles, and he did.
It's impressive whenever a free safety can come up and make tackles for losses.
Here's the punt. Newquist back deep in his own territory, gets it about the 17, starts to turn to his left. He's down right there. Great stop out there by Campus. Is coming up with the stop is Garrett Denning. So Hutch will set up shop now on its own 20-yard line, leading at 7-0. 3:17 to go in this first quarter of play. Glenn Grunwald, Dan Nacarado, along with Matt Peterson. If you're listening, you might as well be watching. Just go to the HutchPost.com page and go down to the sports part and click on the YouTube channel. It's on the Hutch Post YouTube. If you want to shorten your trip and go there, you can. Also on the Facebook page, the Salt Hawk Network. And Hutchinson will have the ball 1st and 10 from their own 20-yard line. So number 14s are getting it done out there today. Dan Newquist with a big stop while ago to force the 4th down, and that time it was number 14, Garrett Denning, bringing down Newquist, number 14, for a stop at the Hutch 20-yard line.
That would be an interesting rule if you said you could only tackle the person wearing the same number that you're wearing, and that kind of happened that last play.
That would be interesting. Hutchinson, well, a lot of time taken here to get everything set up right here, and now they get set.
Coach Cruz had an issue that he wanted to talk over with the officials, but I have no idea what it might have been.
Nick Lang, the quarterback, he's a senior signal caller. Loose football, and Kokar is able to get on it. Missed handle right there by Lang, and it's a negative yardage. It'll drop it back and be down a 2nd down, and I think it's going to be about 15 to go, 14 to go for the 1st down.
Not 100% sure, but many times when you see a fumble of that nature, it's because the fullback scrapes against the ball as he's running through the hole. The quarterback's not intending to give the fullback the ball. He wanted to pitch it, and I think that the ball might have been jarred loose by his own running back.
So Hutchinson will set up. We'll call it a 2nd down and 14 call from the 16-yard line, their own 16. Lang under center. Turns, gets the pitch out, and it pitches on the left side by Kokar. He spins away and gets that yardage back plus more. Takes it all the way up to the 25-yard line. It'll bring up a 3rd down and 5 situation.
Beautiful option, though, because Nick Lang kept the ball appropriately, and then he made the pitch at the last possible instant before he got hit.
From Scores in Kansas, quick score for you. Mays 7, Derby nothing. First quarter action. Cheney also 6, Nickerson nothing in the first quarter as well. And McPherson trailing Mulvane 7-6 in first quarter action.
Last year, Mays upset Derby by 1 point, 36-35. That is an interesting game.
Back to pass. Lang sets up in the pocket across the middle. Kokart with a catch. He's got the 1st down and more. He'll stretch it all the way to the 36-yard line. Move the chains. It's a Salt Hawk 1st down.
It's proving to be very effective to move Kokar around to different positions in the backfield and find different ways to get the football to him.
Well, if you looked at Salt Hawk Football Facebook, we had the highlights from last week on there, and the very first play was that pass in the flat on the left side of Kokar right after you explained why Nick Lang was the quarterback to put the ball in Kokar's hands more, and that's exactly what happened there. 1:22 to go in this quarter. There's a give and a carry forward for about a pickup of 9 yards. Nice job out there by Nick Lang on the option. So they'll have to mark it at about the 43-yard line. So it'll be a 2nd down and 3.
The beautiful thing about the veer, the flexbone offense, is you don't have to block all the defensive players. You let the quarterback just read 1 or 2 of them and make decisions based on what the defense is giving the offense. Now, what is a little bit surprising is since Campus runs the flex bone as well, I'm surprised that they didn't have someone assigned to tackle the quarterback at the line of scrimmage.
A little confusion on offense right now. Malachi Miller out to the right side, Kokar left. Lang the quarterback again. Here's Hogan in the slot back, and they've got a movement. Hogan moved just a little bit. That's going to back it up 5. False start against Hutchinson on the offense. So just a little over 30 seconds to go in his first quarter play. Hutch leading at 7-0. That'll back it up, but Hutchinson will get 2nd down over again, 2nd down and 8. Hutch has really done a good job of moving the football in this first quarter of play. Now it's inside of 30 seconds.
It was a problem last week for Hutchinson. They gave up 78 yards on penalties last week. I believe they committed 8 of them that were accepted. That's something that Hutchinson wants to improve upon.
Play clock down to about 6. They got to go. Game clock at 11. Now to get it down and they get the play off. They'll pitch it on the outside. Hogan, he's trying to make up some room around that out left side. He gets a step and picks up a few yards, but not enough for the 1st down as he was dodging tacklers like crazy back in the backfield. and that'll run off the end of the quarter. So that will take us to quarter number 2 with Hutchinson leading at 7-0, and Hutchinson facing a third down and about 5 situation when we return. We'll take a 1-minute timeout. Again, you're listening to Salt Hawk Football right here on KWBW, Hutchinson, Kansas. We'll be back in 1 minute.
Hutchinson Community College and Blue Dragon Athletics are proud to support the Hutchinson Salt Hawks. Whether you're working towards your degree or are a busy working individual with limited time to attend class, Hutch CC has what you're looking for. And for those still in high school, Hutchinson Community College's Step Ahead program provides a head start on a quality education, and it may not cost the student anything. Visit hutchcc.edu or call 888-GO-HUTCH for more details. And good luck this season to the Salt Hawks.
Hey friends and neighbors, Nextech Wireless here with a super exciting deal. Right now is the time to get the newest iPhone or Android on us. Our friendly and knowledgeable staff is ready to get your new device set up and running right. By the way, we know that it's you who makes our business great and our neighborhoods home. Thank you, Nextech. Call or text 877-621-2600. We are Kansas.
Welcome back to Hayesville campus. Hutchinson will now face a 3rd down and 5 situation from their own 41-yard line as we start the second quarter of action. Hutchinson leads at 7-0. And a big 3rd down call coming right here for Hutch. Lang on the keeper. Keeps it himself, and he's going to be wrapped up and thrown down right at the 40-yard line. A flag on the play, so let's see what the flag is going to be. Possibly could have been a hand coming in and catching a face mask. That would be a really gift for Hutchinson if that's what it is, but I don't think so. I think it's against Hutchinson, and it will be from the indication from the White Hat.
It's kind of a tough decision for Coach Jamie Cruz to decide whether to accept the penalty or decline it.
Well, Hutchinson's had a lot of luck so far running the football, so
there was a loss of 1 on that
yeah, a loss
yard,
of 1, so he'll make it a 4th down, and we'll call it 6 situation.
Campus declined the penalty. Now, the last time Campus declined that penalty, Hutchinson brought the offense out and scored a 34-yard touchdown on 4th and 9.
So Hutch will set up 4th down and about 6 to go for the first down. Lang just was not able to break loose for the play right there. Here comes the punt, and it's a good one.
I think that was Nolan Cunningham.
Yeah, and it takes a Campus bounce, or Hutch bounce, I should say, all the way down to about the 16-yard line, so 1st and 10 from there. So Campus will set up. They'll have the ball. They'll mark it officially at the 17. And Hutchinson defensively will send out the defensive unit to get going. Hutch leading at 7-0. Beautiful night. Absolutely gorgeous. We got a partial moon and wispy clouds all over the place before the sunset. And it'll be a 1st and 10 for Campus on the 17.
Ideal football weather.
How about, again, the spaceship that launched this week, William Shatner, going out to, at 90 years young, going to space. How about that, Dan?
Boldly went where no 91-year-old
he did.
went before.
Give up the middle. Carry out there is going to be Denning. Garrett Denning on the carry. Picks up a couple of yards on the play. They'll mark it right at the 20. We'll give him 3, actually, on the carry. 2nd down and 7.
In that first quarter of action, both teams had 11 plays from scrimmage. Campus picked up 27 yards. Hutchinson, 69 yards.
Trinity High School on top of Haven right now, 7-0. Talked with Coach Bell the other night on the Reno County Coaches Show last night, actually.
Trinity Catholic sitting pretty well for district play.
Yep, they started off 4-0, and they've had some close games. The pitch on the outside, trying to turn the corner, and not much there. Nice stop out there by Adam Jefferson on the stop and brings the player down right at the 25-yard line.
Jefferson really went a long ways to make that tackle. He chased him down.
Remy Buckle on the carry. Picks up some positive yardage. We'll bring up a 3rd down and 3. So now we get set. Campus will have the ball. 3rd down and 3 here. Key 3rd down call here, because if they don't get it, then Hutchinson gets pretty good field position. And Johnson gives it off straight ahead running and close to the first down. And yes, they will have it. And picking up their first down. Solid carry right there, but big number 45 out there.
There's not a 45 listed on the roster.
No, there isn't.
Must have changed jerseys.
We apologize for the campus players with that. 9:42 to go in quarter number 1. Hutchinson setting up defensively here. Brody Johnson, the quarterback, man in motion. He wants to throw the football, goes down and puts it in the air. And the catch is made inside the Hutchinson territory at about the 41-yard line.
Jaron Dodson on the catch.
So a big play by campus.
Dodson, a two-way starter, 6'1", 206-pound senior. When he's running deep down the middle, he's a tough player to defend.
So a nice job by campus to get the pass on 3rd down and 3. Hutch froze the Hudson linebackers with that play-action pass, and they hit it in stride at about the 42-yard line. So first and 10 for campus from the 42. And send a man in motion, straight ahead running. Nice job defensively by Hutchinson.
Flag in the middle of the line of scrimmage. Usually that's an offensive penalty.
False start, so that'll back it up. 8:52 to go, second quarter of play. Hutch still leading at 7-0, but campus now on the drive after the long pass completion. But this will back it up all the way back to the 47-yard line. The campus for Hutchinson 47-yard line. So Hutchinson setting up defensively. Got the false start to go against campus. 8:38 remaining in this second quarter of play. We're in the first half. Key games all across the district tonight, Dan. Again, Mays and Derby. That's going to be a doozy. Here the give, straight ahead running. And pick up back to just about the original line of scrimmage.
When you get to week 7 of the high school football season, the playoff picture starts to take shape.
Hutchinson's kind of smack dab in the middle of that Western Division of the 5A, sitting in the 10 spot. If the season was to end right now, the regular season, Hutchinson would be traveling to Northwest, but lots of football still to be played with this game plus the Mays game.
Trick play.
Johnson wants to throw it, throws it out. They got a wide open receiver out there waiting for the ball, getting it, touchdown campus. So the trick play, you called it, was 7:42 to go in the second quarter of play. Campus is on the board. They threw that one all the way from the 44-yard line all the way down for the TD. He was wide open deep as they went with the flea flicker and was able to connect it from 44 yards out for a 54-yard, 56-yard touchdown pass.
Quarterback pitched it. Running back went to the right, threw it backwards across the field, back to the left of the quarterback, who then threw it way downfield to a wide open Jared Dodson.
There's the point after touchdown kick. It is on its way. It is up and it is good. This game is tied 7-7 with 7:42 to go. Again in this first half of play. We'll take a quick 30-second timeout. We'll be back for the campus kickoff coming your way right after this timeout.
Tony Smith, attorney at law and an alumni of Hutch High, would like to wish the very best to the Salthawks this season. Cody specializes in bankruptcy and other areas of the law. If you're feeling overwhelmed with debt, give Cody a call. Don't wait until creditors garnish your bank account or paycheck. Call Cody Smith, attorney at law, at 620-259-2424 or visit codysmith.law. That's .L-A-W. Cody is a debt relief attorney, helping people file for relief under the bankruptcy code. Go Salthawks.
Well, a flea flicker play ends up being a touchdown for campus from 56 yards out. And Dan, you described it nicely. It just was thrown out on the outside back to the quarterback on the left. He had a receiver out there and wide open for the touchdown.
You could see it coming from the press box because none of the offensive linemen were going downfield. If it was truly a run play, you see those offensive linemen trying to get up the field. So
by the time Hutchinson coaches noticed it, It was too deep. So here's the kickoff by Campus, and it's going to go out of bounds. It'll be a touchback, actually. It's going to come out to the 20. So 1st and 10 for Hutchinson. 7-7 tie right now.
That's a high-risk, high-reward type flea flicker play, and it paid off handsomely for the Campus Colts. It's a tough thing to do for a running back to catch the pitch, run full speed to his right, plant, and throw it backwards to the quarterback on the other side of the field, and they got it done.
Let's see if Hutchinson can answer. Hutch has moved the ball pretty effectively tonight. Lying the quarterback in that flex bone. The turn to give to Hogan. Hogan with a wide open run. He's at the 30-yard line and more, all the way up to the 35-yard line. So Hogan's heroes out in front right there, blocking for him. And we have a player down at about the 20-yard line for Campus. So an injury timeout is going to take place. And Nick Lang looking at the injured player. But what a run right there, Dan, by Hogan. A quick opener straight up the middle. Picks up positive yardage and give him the first down. I'll mark it at the 35 while they attend to the injured player. Let's see how badly he is injured.
It's Ben Johnson, the 5'11", 218-pound defensive lineman.
A couple other scores to pass on. Free State 7, Shawnee Mission East 7. That's up in the northeast part of the state of Kansas. Russell 6, Goodland nothing. Russell Broncos are playing some pretty good football this year. Cheney with a 2-touchdown lead over Nickerson right now, 14-0 in the second quarter of play. And Wichita Northwest 14, Wichita South nothing. Actually that one's in the second quarter as well. So
you and I were both scratching our heads about that Wichita East over Garden City score last week. Where did that come from?
And some other scores as we get set here. Injured player coming off the field under his own power. That's going to be big Ben Johnson out there, offensive and defensive lineman. Weighs 218. He comes off slowly.
Garden City playing Dodge City tonight in the Hatchet game.
Mays on top of Derby now, 14-0. That's still at the tail end of the first quarter play. Here's a big play, and up the field goes Hutchison for across the 45 for the first down. Nice run out there. That was Kokar.
Missile pass from the quarterback out to the right sideline to Kokar.
So move the chains, and Kokar puts the football at the 46-yard line. Hutchinson on 46. Hutch trying to answer right now after a long 56-yard pass for the TD for Campus on a flea flicker play. Too cold for fleas, isn't it? Give him straight ahead running. That's Hogan. He takes a whole host of players with him all the way up to about the midfield and then beyond. They'll mark it officially right at the 49. So 5-yard pickup, second down and 5. Hogan can get you 5 yards just about any time you want him to. And the reason he's so effective is because of Doobie, Kepler, and Seitz up front, giving a big push up the middle, Dan.
That was very well blocked, and Hogan ran hard, hit the hole quickly.
Sometimes, like he did last week, he bounced off a couple players and took it for 6. Here's the give. This is Burgess. Burgess with a burst of speed. Flag flies in, probably from a hold position. Let's mark it. He picked up the first down, but let's see what the flag is going to entail. Burgess with the solid play. Pick up about 6 yards on the play. Personal foul. Chop block is going to be the call against Hutchinson. So that'll wave off the Burgess positive yardage. And a repeat second down with 6:36 to go in the second quarter of play.
Salthawk still looking to clean up those penalty situations. They've actually committed a few more than what will show up in the stat sheet, or at least 2 more, because Campus declined a couple of penalties tonight.
Clock moving along at 6:30 to go in this second quarter of play. It'll be a second down and 19 call. They'll mark the ball at the 37-yard line of Hutchinson. So second down and long, 2nd and 19 to be exact. Hutch doesn't have to get it all in one chunk right here. Let's see what Lang does. Lang wants to throw the football across the middle, just about caught for Kokar, and also just about knocked down on that far side. Getting a hand on it was Jaron Dodson, knocking it away. It'll bring up a third down, stops the clock, 3rd down and 19.
Dodson is figuring prominently in this first half for Campus. He has 2 long catches, one of them for a touchdown on offense, and now a pass breakup on defense.
Now Hutch on that right hash mark. Let's see if they come around to the left side or not. Kokar set up, but boy, he was going to be offsides. Now he sets back up in the wide receiver spot on the left. Lang wants to throw the football. I think he wants to go to Kokar. He's going to throw it all the way down the field. Incomplete pass. He had Kokar open between two defensive players and overthrew him. So 4th down punt time, 4th and 19. Time to punt the football for Hutchinson.
And the main reason that this drive stalled was penalty.
Second quarter score, Dan, this is an interesting one. Hayes 20, May South nothing. So the Indians of Hayes have been woken up after that Garden City loss, and they're really playing some good ball. Here's the punt. Comes all the way down. Fair catch call for at the 26 is where Campus will set up 1st and 10 from their own 26-yard line.
There is quite a log jam at the top of the West 5A. 6 teams at 5-1. Hayes, Andover, Capon, May South, Mays, Bishop Carroll. All 6 of those teams standing at 5-1 coming into tonight's action.
Tonight with Hayes with the big lead right now. Heston, by the way, is leading their foe 14-0. We'll give you some other scores as we get going along here. Right now, it's 1st and 10 for Campus. Let's see if Hutchinson's defense can stand set up. Last time Campus had the ball, they were able to connect on a 56-yard touchdown pass to tie the game at 7 apiece. They'll give it straight ahead running. And Hutchinson team is reacting like it might have been a fumble, and Hutch says they came out with it, and they did. So it'll be a 1st and 10 for Hutchinson on the fumble. I did not see the ball come loose. I just saw the reaction of the Hutchinson players, and it'll be 1st and 10 for Hutch on the 30-yard line, actually the 29-yard line of Campus.
Aaron Jefferson and Ben Patterson were in the middle of the pile. One of them at least caused the fumble.
I think Deming was the running back that took it up, and I'm not certain on that. But 1st and 10 right now for Hutch. We'll try to find out. Lang, the quarterback. Great opportunity for Hutchinson now. The turn to give to Hogan. He's going to be thrown down and with a body slam right at the 29-yard line. So little or no gain. They'll give him a yard. 2nd down and 9. Clock moving away. 5:41 to go in this second quarter of play. We're all tied up at 7 apiece. Hutchinson just got a gift on that fumble. Let's see if they can take advantage of it.
This is where Hutchinson needs to impose their will upon Campus and put some points on the board before halftime.
So 2nd down and 9 facing the Assault Hawks. Ball on the right hash mark for Hutchinson. Lang, the quarterback. Kokar in the slot on that left slot. Burgess on the other side. Burgess in motion. Reverses back. Lang on the keeper. Gives it to Kokar. Turns the corner at the 20. 15-10 all the way down. And has the 1st down inside the 19-yard line, I believe. He's like a blur going around that outside. Looked like that play was stopped. And reason I say that is because they set up on the right hash mark so they don't have much room to run over there. But he's like walking a tightrope down that sideline. Good for a pickup of 9. It's going to be a 3rd and 1.
Campus knows very well the right way to defend the option. But whether you know how to defend it or not, when a player is as talented as Noah Kokar, sometimes you just can't tackle him.
Ball still in the right hash mark.
Kokar out wide left this play.
Turn to give around the outside. It's going to be Armstrong. He'll bust forward, gets the 1st down. Nice run by Armstrong as he carries it forward. And Daquan Armstrong with some positive running moves the chains. See where the official mark it. It's going to be right at the 13-yard line.
Went to the counter play, get those linebackers moving the direction the fullback went, give it to the slot coming back the other direction.
So 1st and 10 from the 13 for Hutchinson. Hutch Isle looking to the sideline, getting their assignments. Kokar looks at his wrist. So does Lang, the quarterback. Kokar split wide left. Doobie comes up under center. Get on that right side is Kepler, helping Doobie guard protect Lang. Man of motions Burgess. Once they want to throw it, he'll loft it toward the corner. It's going to be down there, and it's going to be incomplete pass, just about picked off. Lang had Kokar down there, but so was the defensive back with great position, was not able to catch it. Incomplete pass brings up a 2nd down and 10.
Yeah, that was a ball that was in Garrett Denning's hands in the end zone and looked to be a sure interception, but it came loose. Hutchinson gets to try again.
That's one that young man will be having nightmares about. 2nd down and 10, especially if Hutch is able to pop in 6 here. And the turn, straight ahead running. Kokar bottles his way down inside the 5 and farther. Actually, I think that might have been Hogan. Let's check the number. And it is Hogan on the carry as he works it hard down inside the 5. It'll be a 1st and goal situation. They'll mark it officially at the 3-yard line. So Hudson with some power football right there.
The Salthawks look to take advantage of that dropped interception.
Hogan last week with 3 touchdowns and 170-plus yards had a field day. One was a 72-yarder on a straight-ahead running. There's a man in motion. Kokar giving it off to Hogan. Hogan busts it to the end zone close. He's going to be down at about the 1.5-yard line. So a 2nd down and goal with 3:26 and counting left to go in this second quarter of play. We're tied at 7.
Thought that game might be a little bit higher scoring, but so far.
Well, remember last week we were at the end of the first quarter. It was 0-0. Ended up being 41-7. So
right.
Be patient.
Okay.
This is Yoda talking, okay? Be patient. Miss Luke with the football is Lang. Kokar in motion, a pitch on the right side. Kokar walks it into the end zone. 6 on the board for Hutchinson, and Hutch takes a 13-7 lead with 2:54 to go in the first half of play. Nice touchdown run.
Went to the rocket toss around the right edge.
Kokar only needed 3 yards, and he had that easily as he headed toward the pylon. Now Runyon will kick. Tayson Runyon. Dad said we didn't get enough kicker highlights in last week. Here comes the kick is up and on its way, and it is good. And your score with 2:54 to go in the second quarter of play is Hutchinson 14, Campus 7. We await the Hutch kickoff coming your way right after this.
All Vader Jackson financial advisors are now Envision Investment Group. Due to the growth of the investment and client relations team, they have a new location to better serve you. 15 Compound Drive in Hutchinson. Stay tuned for an open house. Time and date to be announced soon. We understand there have been many changes, so please feel free to reach us at 669-8291. Check for updates at envisionig.com. Envision Investment Group. Your future is our focus. Securities offered through LPL Financial. Member FINRA SIPC.
A lot of key games around the area tonight. Mays 21, Derby 7. Right here it is 14-7. Hutchinson on top. Then you got another one brewing with Garden City and Dodge City. That's the Hatchet game. Garden City 14, Dodge City 3 in that contest out west. Cimarron and TMP in a good one, 8-0. Cimarron on top at halftime. Last year that ended 16-14 in that ball game with TMP, I believe, getting the win last year. But this is this year. Same way here. Right now, Hutchinson leading Campus 14-7.
This is the 41st meeting between Campus and Hutchinson. Hutchinson has 26 wins, Campus 14.
So Salthawks will kick off. Now, Campus gets a sideline warning on them.
Campus won their first postseason game ever against Hutchinson in 2017.
Here comes the kickoff. It's going to be taken at about the 7-yard line by Campus. They'll turn it upfield, trying to get around the left side, and Hutchinson's able to get the stop out there.
Now this is an interesting situation for Campus. 2:48 to play in the second quarter. They're down 14-7. Hutchinson will get the kick. Will get to receive the kick to start the third quarter. So Campus would love the opportunity to put some points on the board before halftime and see if they can tie it up.
Dylan Schuyler on the return. Titan Hennaha on the stop out there. And here, Campus will set up. 2:48 to go. Again, we're in the first half of play. Here's the pitch on the outside, trying to turn it to the right side. A great tackle out there by a pair of players for Hutchinson, just getting it done. Good hard play by Hutchinson coming up with the big play.
Now, Campus would love to score points before halftime, but they have to be a little bit careful not to have a quick 3 and out and give Hutchinson a chance to score again before the half.
Hippen with a big tackle out there. Did a great job.
Hippen bouncing back and forth. He played fullback for a couple of games. Now he's back at a defensive end position tonight.
So with the football, Brody Johnson, the quarterback. Keeper straight ahead running.
Hutchinson could consider taking a timeout here. 3rd down and 4.
It'll be right at that 3rd down and 4. Clock under 2, 1:54 to go, and that's what Hutch is going to do. Good call, Dan. 1:53 to go in the contest. Hutch calls a timeout in the second quarter of play. 14-7, Hutch on top, and now a 3rd down and 4 facing campus. We'll take a quick 30-second break. We'll be back with more from Hayesville right after this 30-second timeout.
Now through December 7th is your annual Medicare D sign-up period. The Hutch Medicine Shop once again is the one and only place you need to consider to help get your best plan. Throw away any literature you receive in the mail and don't be misled by TV ads. If you want to get your meds local and get the best prices, come to the Medicine Shop. We'll input your drug list and find your best plan. Medicare D sign-up is now at the Hutch Medicine Shop in Midtown.
Classes of games played. There's already a final, Thunder Ridge, which is phenomenal in 8-man. They're over Frankfurt 60-12 already. And play some football down those lower classes pretty good. Right here, 3rd down and 4 facing campus with the ball on their own 29-yard line. Hutchinson specifically called a timeout to see if they can get another possession. They'll go with trips on the left side, a bunch of triples over there. They'll split up wides on the right side as well. Back to pass. They want to throw the ball. They'll lodge it down the field. Incomplete pass.
Interference.
And interference is going to be the call.
Unfortunate. Now, campus did something I've never seen them do before. They started out in a standard flexbone formation, and then they sent players 3 out wide to the left, 2 out wide to the right, and then they tried to loft a pass right down the middle to the fullback.
Yeah, so they spread the field out with a bunch of 3s on that left side, of trips, and just as you described, and went right down the middle. And unfortunately, Hudson had it covered, but pass interference is going to be the call. Now, they're still talking it over at midfield exactly, I think, where the ball is going to be spotted. It will be pass interference against Hutchinson. First down is going to be the result of that. Now they're working their way out to figure out where it's going to be marked at. And they'll march it off from the 29.
That's a tough play for the defense because they faked the handoff to the fullback coming right up the middle and then tried to throw it to the fullback. So it's kind of natural to have some contact with that player.
So that'll give it a first down to the Campus Colts with 1:47 to go before halftime. They trail the Salt Hawks 14-7. They'll set up at the 45-yard line, their own 45. They want to run it around the left side, trying to turn the corner out. There's Denning, and he picks up positive yardage, about a 6-yard pickup. Goes out of bounds to stop the clock with 1:39 to go. Brings up a 2nd down and 4. And now Campus takes the timeout. So Campus will call the timeout with 1:39 to go. We'll step aside as well. 14-7, Hutch on top. We'll be back in a half minute right here on the Salt Hawk Sports Network.
Your choices at Prairie Star Health Center just keep getting better. Dr. Cecilia Hinton has joined our exceptional staff and invites you to rely on her as your primary care provider for your health and wellness concerns. And she'll be right there with you to address any chronic diseases, aggravating pain, or other issues. Dr. Hinton knows it's all about you at Prairie Star Health Center, 30th and K61 in Hutchinson.
1:39 to go in quarter number 2 here. We're in Hayesville, Kansas on the campus of Colt Stadium here on the campus of Colt Campus High School.
Now there's a penalty during the timeout called against Hutchinson.
And they're going to march it off to the south, and it's a big one. What was the call there? All the way down to the 35-yard line of Hutchinson.
Someone said something during the timeout that the official did not like.
and move the ball, an automatic first down with it. Wow. So, Campus has the ball on their Hutchinson 35-yard line, 1st and 10. Now
the referee is
Whitehat comes over to talk with Coach Vernon, get an explanation. Coach wants an explanation of how in the world and who did what.
Now there are 3 officials over on the sideline talking to Coach Mike Vernon. That's the Hutchinson sideline.
And they're all huddled around him as well to find out what it had to be. He was going to bring up a 2nd down, Dan, and that's a big personal foul or something happened.
When you take the ball from the 50-yard line down to the 35-yard line.
Automatic first down carried along with it.
In the last 2 minutes of the half, that's a huge difference.
So the clock showing 1:39 to go. Campus wants to throw it. Johnson heaves it high down that left sideline, incomplete pass. Couple of defenders down there. That was Kinzer Newquist going head over heels to knock that ball away. Cunningham was right there with him as well.
Excellent coverage.
And Stephon Hunter was down there as well. Coach talked about a couple players, several more than just a couple, that he thought could play at the next level if they wished to. Ball at the 35, and I'd have to tend to agree with him.
We were pretty much focusing on seniors during that discussion, and he brought up Kinzer Newquist, Ben Patterson. He brought up about 7 different players that could play some college football.
Kepler, some other ones as well.
Hogan.
There's a give to, again, the keeper by Denning, and he stopped immediately at the line of scrimmage. So 3rd down, and it's going to be about 7 to go for the first down for Campus. Ball's right at the 32-yard line. So 1 minute and 20, clock's moving away. Hutch on top of Campus, 14-7. Campus went with a flea flicker a little while ago to tie the game at 7 apiece. Now their kicker's warming up on the sidelines, as if though he's going to be given an opportunity here in a second to try to toe the field goal. Johnson, the quarterback, wants to throw the football. Back step, throws a screen on the left side that's caught, and then carried it forward. It's positive yardage for the first down all the way down to the 20-yard line. Stops the clock to move the chains inside of 50 seconds now to go in this first half of play.
Well-executed screen pass. I've always felt like in high school football, for most defenses, that's the toughest play to stop.
Sheeler carried it right down the left sidelines. They let the defensive line through and then threw the screen on the left side. 1st and 10 for the Campus, and they stop in the backfield. Ben Patterson comes up to get a hold of the running back, and that was going to be Sheeler. He's dropped after only a yard pickup. 31 seconds remaining to go in this first half of play, and now a Campus timeout. Dan, we're going to keep it here because of the fact that 31.7 seconds, Campus more than likely will take a quick timeout, and then they'll be back out there. But here you're setting at 2nd and 8. What a big play by Sheeler on that screen pass to pick up the first down.
And then on the next play, Ben Patterson coming from his linebacker position to stop the rocket toss, which is a play designed to go clear outside. When you have an inside linebacker making a tackle on that play, that tells you that that's a young man that can read the offense quickly and fill the gap.
Well, and he's been good all year long. We've called his number many, many times, and he just continues to impress out there with his speed. A lot of linebackers are big and strong, but very few have that thing that is God-given, and that's speed.
Well, he's making more than 10 tackles a game, and when you can do that, you are definitely helping your team.
All right, Brody Johnson leads his team up the line of scrimmage now, facing a 2nd down and 8. More importantly, 31.7 seconds remaining to go in this first half of play. So he's kind of running out of time, but he does have a 2nd down. We'll call it 8 or 9, right in between there. Ball's on the 21-yard line of Hutchinson. Down under centers, Johnson wants to throw the football across to the right side, and it's going to be an incomplete pass. Stops the clock with 28 seconds remaining to go in this first half of play. And more importantly, a 3rd down and 9 call. So you don't get it here, you more than likely go for a field goal.
From that point on the field, it would be about a 37-yard attempt.
Right around that. It's right at the 20-yard line, nose of the football. They actually say it's the 21. So campus will break huddle. They'll send out wideouts to the right side. One of those is going to be Garrett Denning. Wanting to throw the football, arches it high on the right side, trying to go deep in the corner, and it's incomplete. Nice coverage out there by Hutchinson. As Newquist and company are back there to do a good job.
That tells me campus does not want the field goal, really. If they wanted the field goal, they probably would have run the ball to pick up 3 or 4
There's
there.
a flag on the play. Something was said on the sidelines as well, now on the campus sidelines. So that trio back there that had the coverage was Newquist along with Hackney as well as Cunningham. Those are 3 pretty good defensive players back there. Let's see what they're going to call here. The flag was thrown from the sideline.
That's against campus.
So that's going to mark it back.
Yeah,
it's going to be a 4th down and about 14.
This is a big penalty. So
more than that.
They're not going to be able to attempt a field goal now. 15-yard penalty.
So more than likely we'll have to go for it with 22 and a half seconds remaining to go in this second quarter of play. They act like they're going to go for it.
Yeah, this would be a 52-yarder. I can't imagine they're really going to try that.
It will be held and a timeout taken by campus. We'll get a break in this time with 22.4 seconds to go in the contest second quarter. We'll see what campus is going to do when we return. Hutch leads at 14-7. We'll be back in a half a minute right after this. We'll be back in a half a minute right after this.
Let's get those taxes done. At H&R Block, we can file your return by October 15th, no matter where you filed your extension. Avoid a late filing penalty and get every credit and deduction you're entitled to. Drop in and stay or drop off and go. Or call 662-5321 to make an appointment today. At H&R Block, Hutchinson, Lyons, and Ellsworth.
Well, right here, it's 14-7. Hudson with the lead. 22.4 seconds remaining to go. Campus deciding whether or not they're going to try to kick a field goal or are they going to fake it possibly, Dan. It's going to be a very long one if they do. Now, they do have the wind at their back a little bit, and earlier it was about 13 miles per hour, so it's significant. Let's see what they're going to do. And it looks like they're going to try it.
Yeah, this is a dangerous type thing because Hutchinson could block it, scoop, and score.
So they're going to try it. And here's Aiden Hess setting up for the long one. It will be held right at the 42-yard line, which makes it a 52-yard field goal. There's the snap, there's the hold, there's the kick. It is up and on its way, and it is good.
Oh, my
goodness. Just got over the bar, and it is good. Your score, Hutch 14, Campus 7 with 14.9 seconds remaining. It'll be a campus kickoff coming your way. We're in the second quarter of play, but the game's tightened up a little bit. 14-10 is your score. Hutch still with the lead. Hutch will receive the kickoff coming from campus right after this 30-second timeout right here on the Salt Hawk Sports Network.
Hutchinson High School Sports is on air thanks to these outstanding Salt Hawk boosters. The Medicine Shop, Portfolio Recovery Associates, Hayden's & Co. Salon and Beyond, American Family Insurance Agent Travis Rodenbaugh, APAC Shears, Pools Plus, First National Bank, Next Tech Wireless, the Summit of Hutchinson with Doctors Lowen and Severud, Prairie Star Health Center, Ashcraft Pharmacy, Axel's Taxi, and Edward Jones Financial Advisor William Thacker. Thanks for listening.
Well, Aiden Hess just kicked it through from 52 yards out to make it 14-10. Hutch still with the lead, but I'd have to say that's just about at his range because it maybe, what do you think, had a foot and a half when it cleared the bar?
It had not much to spare, but Aiden Hess might just have gotten some attention for college scholarship.
He certainly might have. He is a senior, 6'2", 175, and boy, he towed it up. I really thought that they were maybe going to go with the fake and come out of that with that, but that's a weapon out there.
I didn't think he had any chance of making that.
So now he will kick off on senior night here at campus. They've had their activities all already with the introduction of players and all the way through their sports before the ball game. So let's see if Hutch can get a return out of this. We'll pass along some halftime scores. I want to remind you of Nick Gosnell's KWW scoreboard after the ball game as well. Kick is going to go out of bounds. It'll be a touchback. And Hutch will set up. And we'll have it with 18 seconds remaining to go. I think they put some time on because I saw the clock still moving after the kick was declared good. So they backed it up a little bit. I'll put more on it, I should say. So Hutch will have it 1st and 10 on their own 20. Now, Hutch the other day had an 80-yard touchdown pass to Kokar against Salina South, so don't go away yet.
I would want to play it pretty safe here.
I would too, but at the same time, they're capable of scoring. Of course, that was a different situation. That game was pretty much out of hand already.
Campus has 4 defensive backs deep.
So they're in prevent. Back to passes, Lang sets up, throws it across, catch is made, and stumbling forward, incomplete pass. It did not keep it, and that was Hogan. It was a little bit low for Hogan to pick it up. Boy, I think if he catches that, Danny, he's got some yards in front of him that he could have scampered. Stops the clock with 13.6 to go. What do you think?
It kind of boggles my mind how Hogan found an opening in that defense. He was really
and I had
open.
said the catch was made. It was not. He had it in his hands, and then it just tripped out of him there for the incompletion. So 2nd down and 10 now from the 20 for Hutch. Clock at the 13.6 point mark of this first half of play. There's a give. This time to Hogan. Around that outside. Has the opening edge on the 30, and he's going to be knocked out of bounds at about the 37-yard line, with 5.8 seconds to go. Maybe time for one more. I don't know if you set up a screen pass or if you try to just get, like you right there, Hogan in open space.
Zach Hogan has played better every single game this season. We knew he was going to be good because we saw him with quite a bit of action last year as a junior.
Early on, he was hitting the line, and he picked up a couple yards, but he was going down. Now he's starting to bounce off those players on those tackles and break tackles. He had a great 33-yard run for the touchdown last week, which he pinballed off at least 3 different opportunities to bring him down.
He was battling some injuries earlier in the season.
So Lang, the quarterback, just a few seconds left in the quarter, wants to throw it on the outside. Catch is made by Hogan, and he rolls out of bounds. Let's see if they're going to give it to him. Nope, time has expired. We are at halftime, and your score at halftime is Hutchinson 14 and Campus 10. We will take, well, let's hold on here. There's zeros on the clock, but they're acting like there might be some time left. Did he get out of bounds or not?
And did he pick up the first down?
And did he pick up the first down or not? If they did, that would stop the clock. And everybody's going to the locker room. So halftime is here. Hutch with a 14-10 lead at intermission. We will take a 2-minute timeout. Get set for the Medicine Shop in-game capsule brought to you by the Little White Castle at 14th Main, the Medicine Shop. We'll be back with more from Campus High. 14-10 at halftime. Hutch on top. Back in 2.
Need to send someone money? Pay a babysitter? Split the bill? Use First Pay. It is the person-to-person payment option located right inside your online banking app. There is no need to download an additional application. It is simple, safe, and secure. We're first for you. Visit fnbhutch.bank to learn more, or click on your First National Bank app to get started. You can also stop into a location nearest you, and we're happy to help. First National Bank of Hutchinson, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
At Ashcraft Pharmacy, we're committed to helping you and your wallet stay healthy.
I'm always looking for ways to save money so I can enjoy more of the things I love, like traveling. Medicare plans change each year. Fortunately, my Health Mart pharmacist at Ashcraft Pharmacy helped me understand which insurance plan would save me the most on my prescriptions.
Visit locally owned Ashcraft Pharmacy in South Hutchinson today. We have special software that can help you sort out the confusion for you too. Health Mart, caring for you and about you.
Forward, always moving, never stagnant. Together, nothing great is ever accomplished without it. At Fee Insurance Group, we've been working side by side with our clients for more than a century. Together with individuals, organizations, and communities, we look ahead to protect the people, places, and things they love. We're Fee Insurance Group. Forward, together.
The end of summer is always a sad time for us here at Pools Plus. Swimming pools are all closed up, but grills and fire pits are lit up for fall. And Pools Plus has the perfect outdoor furniture setup to help entertain your crew. Come to Pools Plus and shop all the fun, bright-colored rockers, Adirondacks, tables, and more. Buy a spa and search for the downtown Hutch Pumpkin during October right here at Pools Plus. Shop local, shop Pools Plus, 21 East 1st in downtown Hutchinson.
We are at halftime, and it's a 14-10 ball game. Hutchinson with the lead over Campus at halftime. Boy, what a 52-yard field goal with 18 seconds to go in the half from 52 yards out. That's right, folks. A really long field goal by Aiden Hess has cut that lead just about in half. 14-10. Hutch still with the lead. It's all started off, and it's time for the Medicine Shop in-game capsule, by the way. It all started off with 8:43 to go in that first quarter play. Hutchinson took it 6 plays, down 44 yards, and went on top 7-0. That pass from Noah Kokar. This was on 4th down and went for 33 yards. Point after touchdown was good, and it was 7-0. Hutch with the lead. Campus answered right back. Brody Johnson, a little flea flicker, threw it to Jaron Dodson. It was complete and all the way down for a score as he took it from 44 yards out. The point after by Hess was good. They were tied at 7 apiece. On to the second quarter play. Actually, that was in the second quarter play as well. Noah Kokar on a pitch took it in from 2 yards out. The point after by Runyon was good. 14-7. Hutch had regained the lead, and then just 18 seconds remaining to go in the half. Hess with that 52-yard field goal, which you and I both looked in amazement from 52 yards out in high school, is pretty doggone good. 18 ticks left on the clock, and it's 14-10, and that's where we stand, at least from the scoring. What do the statistics show for us, Dan?
Well, Hutchinson has committed 6 penalties that were accepted for 56 yards, and one of those penalties was a 15-yarder that moved the ball at the end of the second quarter from the 50-yard line to the 35-yard line. Without that penalty, we probably don't see a 52-yard field goal made.
That's a good point.
So penalties have been the main problem for Hutchinson. They actually committed, I think, 8 penalties in that first half, but a couple of them were declined, and that was the problem. Hutchinson outgained Campus 157 yards to 144, so it's pretty tight statistically, but what jumps out at you, Hutchinson with 56 yards of penalties against them, Campus with 20 yards of penalties. Individually, Zach Hogan picked up 52 yards on the ground and also caught a pass for another 10 yards. Noah Kokar, 19 yards rushing and 56 yards receiving. Daquan Armstrong picked up 17 yards. Nolan Cunningham, 6 tackles in that first half. Ben Patterson, 4 tackles. For Campus, they spread the ball around a lot. No one with more than 19 yards of rushing. And Brody Johnson completed 3 passes for 82 yards and a touchdown. A lot of that came on the flea flicker trick play.
Yeah, it sure was.
That was kind of fun to watch.
It was fun to watch, although as a Hutch fan, it was not that much fun. But they certainly faked out the secondary because he was 20 yards beyond anybody else back there. He just waited for the ball to get down there and was able to take it into the end zone. So that's where we stand at 14-10 right now at halftime, with Hutchinson with the lead. The Medicine Shop, one of my favorite places in town. They just get it done. If you don't follow Rick Stone on Twitter, do yourself a favor. If you are a Twitter fan, follow Rick Stone, the pharmacist, the owner of the Medicine Shop, because he just makes it fun to watch. Every morning early on, he'll have a little survey, and it might vary from what do you like to drink for breakfast, coffee, hot chocolate, or orange juice, and it's just as simple as that. It's he enjoys life and does a great job and has a great crew there of pharmacists at the Medicine Shop. They just do a fantastic job. It's that time. It started today to pick your Medicare Part D supplement plan that you might want. Go in there, tell them what medications you're on. They'll plug it into the computer, and they'll tell you exactly what's the best plan in Kansas. It's as simple as that. They deliver. They get it done. That's the Medicine Shop in Hutchinson. We will take a 2-minute timeout, come back with some scores from across the state of Kansas, and we'll be back with more coming your way from Hayesville, Kansas. We're on the the Colt Stadium as they refer to it, at Campus High School. We'll be back right after this 2-minute timeout.
Apex Shears has deep roots in Kansas. This is Tom Stivers. We were started by George Shears in 1874, just 3 years after the founding of Hutchinson, and are Hutchinson's first contractor. Apex Shears is known for big highway projects, but think local when you need a new driveway, parking lot, or other paving project. Apex Shears is proud to provide local jobs and employ local people. Find out more about your local construction and aggregate company by visiting apexshears.com. A CRH company.
Hutchinson Community College and Blue Dragon Athletics are proud to support the Hutchinson Salthawks. Whether you're working towards your degree or are a busy working individual with limited time to attend class, Hutch CC has what you're looking for. And for those still in high school, Hutchinson Community College's Step Ahead program provides a head start on a quality education, and it may not cost the student anything. Visit hutchcc.edu or call 888-GO-HUTCH for more details. And good luck this season to the Salthawks.
Hey, friends and neighbors, Nextech Wireless here with a super exciting deal. Right now is the time to get the newest iPhone or Android on us. Our friendly and knowledgeable staff is ready to get your new device set up and running right. By the way, we know that it's you who makes our business great and our neighborhoods home. Thank you, Nextech Wireless customers. Visit, call, or text 877-621-2600. We are Kansas.
Jody Smith, attorney at law and an alumni of Hutch High, would like to wish the very best to the Salthawks this season. Cody specializes in bankruptcy and other areas of the law. If you're feeling overwhelmed with debt, give Cody a call. Don't wait until creditors garnish your bank account or paycheck. Call Cody Smith, attorney at law, at 620-259-2424 or visit todysmith.law. That's .L-A-W. Cody is a debt relief attorney, helping people file for relief under the bankruptcy code. Go Salthawks. Hi,
everybody. Welcome back at halftime. Again, your score 14-10. Hutch High on top of the campus Colts at intermission. A 52-yard field goal cut that lead down to that 4-point margin of 14-10. Right, with 18 seconds remaining to go in the second quarter of play. Again, don't forget to tune in to the KWBW Scoreboard Show. Nick Gosnell, the host of that. Nextech Wireless and Apex Shears are sponsors. That'll be stopping right around 9:30, directly following the completion of this broadcast between Hutch High and with campus. Some other scores at halftime, scores to run around the state of Kansas. Inman just keeps getting it done. Coach Sawyer, you might have heard Nick Gosnell's interview with him last night on Reno County Coaches Show. They lead at halftime, Remington, 28-0. Dan, they've only given up one field goal, 3 points on this whole year. And here we are in week 7 already. What a job defensively. They're getting it done over there at Inman.
That's a rare accomplishment to be this deep in the season and not give up a touchdown.
Some other scores, Hornets of Valley Center over Ark City, 21-17 at halftime. Scott City Beavers rolling over the Trojans, 14-7 over Colby. Scott City 14, Colby 7. Garden City still hanging in there, 21-6 now. Dodge City with another field goal that is at the half. And let's see what other scores that we have from the great state of Kansas at halftime. Collegiate 28, Halstead nothing. El Dorado 14, Circle 6. These are all halftime scores. Cape and all over Liberal 37-0. Newton on top of Salina South. Oh, they're tied, 14-14 tie at halftime between the Railers and the Cougars. That is a very good ball game right there. And a couple other scores to pass on. Russell still 6-0 over Goodland at the half. Lawrence High over Olathe North 7-0 at halftime. Let's see, a couple other scores have just popped in. Let's get to them right as we speak here. As said, the El Dorado and Circle score 14-6. Have not seen a Buhler score pop up as of yet. And had a close one still going on with McPherson. Beloit 24, Minneapolis 0. Most of these games started to become district games, and even some were played on Thursday night as well. We passed those points along this morning also on HutchPost.com. You can go to HutchPost.com, and also Nick will put up his scoreboard show should you miss it and want to re-listen to it. you're able to go to a podcast and be able to pick that up as well. Just go to podcast and put in Hutch Post, and you'll find that there. Blue Valley 10, Blue Valley West 10. Lawrence High 7, Olathe North nothing at the half. Dighton all over Mineola 32-0 right now at halftime. And that's quite a few scores from across the state of Kansas just to pass on to you right here at halftime. Right here, it is 14-10. Hutchinson with the lead, and Hutchinson again was able to go down and punch it in. They got the long pass down on a 4th down and 9 call, a gutsy call by the coaching staff, but they hit Kokar across the goal line for the 6-point effort, and the extra point was good. But you give credit also, though, to Campus coming back with the trick play to tie it up. Dan, I'm not sure what I expect to see in this second half of play. It's going to be wide open, I believe.
Campus has certainly opened up their complete bag of tricks tonight to try to pick up a win, and it's really created an entertaining football game. I'm trying to remember Aiden Hess with that 52-yard field goal tonight against Hutchinson. My good friend Dave Hayden is listening to the game in Omaha, and he remembers that there was an outstanding athlete at Derby who played against Hutchinson about 20 years ago, and I think he did kick maybe a 50-yarder against Hutch.
Well, you'll find it.
I remember Kelly Roberts
Yes.
for Hutchinson made a 46 or 48-yard field goal in a game one time.
Well, Coach Miller would know those statistics as well.
That's right.
Yeah,
We'll have to dig into it.
Yeah, Hayes 26, Mays South 14. That's at halftime. That's a humdinger. And those have playoff implications right there because of those 5 teams that are at 5-1 going into this weekend. So Smith Center all over El Saline tonight, 35-0 at halftime. And Wichita Northwest 49, Wichita South 14, and like I indicated earlier, Northwest is where Hutchinson maybe would be going to play if the playoffs started today. But we got 2 more games left, and one is right here, and you got to take care of business here. That's an important thing to do. We're going to take a 2-minute timeout, come back with second half action coming your way. Hutchinson right now leading at 14-10. We'll be back with more right after this 2-minute timeout on the Salt Hawk Sports Network. Welcome back to Campus High School. Actually, we're at Colt Stadium, which is located where the middle school is located off of Grand Street here. Dan and I took a different way into Hayesville. We came right down Main Street, and what an entertaining downtown that Hayesville actually has. I didn't ever know that Hayesville had a downtown area.
Yeah, between the two of us, we've both been to Wichita many, many times. I don't think either one of us had ever come down that street in Hayesville before, and they've done a nice job with it.
A couple strip shopping centers and very well decorated, and
have it decorated for Halloween.
Exactly, they do have it decorated for Halloween. So you got all your candy purchased yet for your neighborhood?
Purchased 1,000 pieces of
candy.
There you
go, kids find out where Coach Nacarado lives. And come into that neighborhood. They hand it out big time. I know that Jerry Arpin, who has the barber shop right there at the corner of Rambler Road and 23rd Street, they give out a lot of candy. So
a couple of years ago, we bought 1,000 pieces, and we ran out.
Oh, my goodness.
And I didn't eat all of them either.
Well, that's
wasn't me.
The place to go. So, and that would be Halloween just a couple weeks away. Right here is 14-10. Hutch might be thinking it's Halloween a little bit after seeing a 52-yard field goal, and you were very correct on that pass interference call is what set up that long field goal, but I'll give the kicker credit as Aiden Hess stroked it through straight away from 52 yards out, and that's cut that lead down to 4 right now. Some other halftime scores, Trinity Catholic in a good one with Haven, 7-0. And then you have Collegiate just bombing Halstead 68-8. Collegiate starting to find their stride as well. And a couple other scores to pass on at halftime is those right there. Again, also still a good one going with Hayes and in Mays South.
2 5-1
That's
teams.
2 5-1 teams. That's good. Cape and 37, Liberal nothing at halftime. And Newton and Salina South 14-14 at halftime. So it's going to be interesting to see how everything falls out. It was a one-touchdown game, by the way. Mays over Derby, 21-14 at one time in the second quarter. We'll catch up with that score in a little bit.
You know, I was talking to Hutchinson High School basketball head coach Brian Miller, and he's so impressed with Avery Johnson that plays quarterback for Mays. He's also a good basketball player. Avery Johnson might be the best athlete in the state of Kansas.
He's one of the best ones that I have seen, and he is a junior and getting all kinds of looks and offers. Good baseball player, great basketball player, and outstanding football player. And you're correct. He might be just one of those guys.
The thing that just befuddles me is how does Mays lose to Arc City, a team who only has 2 wins so far this year? And yet,
everybody else getting wins over Arc City,
and yet Mays leads Derby tonight. It's just hard one to figure out.
Well, this one's going to be hard to figure out too if Hudson doesn't get some points put on the board and try to come away with a win. As Campus is going to kick off to the Salthawks, so Salthawks will receive the football. They'll defend the goal to their north, and they'll put one into the end zone. It'll be a touchback, and Hutch will set up at their own 20-yard line. And Hudson will get set. Good first half of play stat-wise for Hudson with, again, 26 plays, 157 yards. Campus with 27 plays, 144. So those two pretty equal, including that big play that the Campus scored on, that big play that Hutch scored on.
Last couple of years, Campus and Hutchinson have engaged in some very entertaining football games. Tell all your friends, tune in, because this one's a good one.
All right, so we're about set to get underway, and this third quarter is about set to get going. As again, the quarterback for Hutchinson is Lang. He gets straight ahead running, and again, Hogan carries forward, picked up to about the 25-yard line.
Jaron Dodson made the tackle, and Jaron Dodson has figured prominently into this game on both sides of the football. He caught the pass on the long flea flicker for the touchdown. Also has another long pass reception to his credit in this game. He has 72 yards catching and a touchdown, plus he's making lots of tackles on defense.
Coach Nacarado, 5 yards is what Hogan picked up, and he just consistently does that on each carry, just about. Now they give around on Burgess on the outside, and he goes forward and gets the first down, and he picks up 7. So Hutch will move the chains.
Coming back.
And it is going to be coming back, and a player for Hudson is down on the sideline at about the 30, and the flag was thrown, so more than likely saw a hold from that backfield position by the back judge.
It's a lineman who is down, unfortunately.
And it looks to be it's going to be a leg whip is going to be what's called on the offense. And Hudson has a player down. We're going to speculate and it looks like it's going to be a right knee, and I'm not sure who's down, Dan, and I hate to speculate and even say so. So they'll back it up against Hutch.
We'll wait till we're sure. Unfortunately, 90% sure. It's one of our offensive guards.
And they're going to get set to try to get the big man up here in a second, and he will. Looks like it's going to be Kepler, I believe, isn't it?
Yep.
We'll have to double check here. Big number 79.
Yep, that's Chase Kepler, the right guard for Hutchinson.
Looks like he's walking off, though, under his own power, so hopefully he'll shake that one off and get back in there. He's done a good job tonight.
Chase Kepler loves football. He's one of those young men who has a chance to play some college football if he wants to, and he has invested a lot into this season all summer, going to many camps.
He's walking pretty good now when he got to the sideline, so we'll see. I'll bet, man, if he'll get back in there or not. So second down and right around 17 to get straight ahead running. That's going to be Hogan. Had an open lane, and then he's dropped at about the 24-yard line, but he got about half that yardage back. And it's going to be, it was a 3rd and 17. It's going to be a lot shorter than that, or was a 2nd and 17. Makes a 3rd down, and we'll say a long 7. So big 3rd down play facing the Salthawks here.
Number 53, sophomore Camden Jensen, replaced Kepler at that right guard position.
See what that young man does. The backups always have to step up sometime during a ball game. You can just about guarantee it. Lang, the quarterback. 3rd down's the call here. 3rd down and 7. And to stop the play, Hogan was just getting ready to take off with it. And I think we had a man in motion possibly. False start. Let's see what it's going to be. Against the Salthawks, they'll mark it off. So it's going to be a 3rd down and long. 3rd and about 11. Hutch on top, 14 to 10. We're in the 3rd quarter, start of the 3rd quarter of play.
Those penalties against Hutchinson have been there at Kelly's heel the last couple of weeks.
But looks like they waved that one off. 3rd down and 6 is going to be the call. So evidently they decided it was not an infraction. 3rd down and 6 for Hutch. Big play right here for Hutchinson. Early part of the 3rd quarter play, leading at 14-10 over at the campus Colts. Lang wants to throw it. He's being rushed. He's going to be thrown for a loss way back at about the 14-yard line. They came in with a late blitz outside there and was able to get it down. And Hutchinson with a big loss on the play.
Dylan Maley.
He's a junior. He came in strong from that weak side and was able to get the stop made. And this is a big 4th down and 16 call now. So a 10-yard loss on the play, and Hutch is going to punt from their own 2-yard line by way of where the punter's going to set up at. And campus should get great field position here. Play clock at about 10. Game clock at 9:26 in the 3rd. There's a flag on the play. They get the kick away. It's going to be, they'll let it go, and it'll take a Hutchinson roll all the way down to about the 31-yard line of campus. Let's see what the flag is.
If it stands, that's a 55-yard punt. Nolan Cunningham.
White Hat trying to get his microphone connected. They'll come back and chat a little bit what the infraction is going to be. False start.
Yeah.
And too many players in the backfield. They'll mark it back, and his camp is going to make them kick it over. I bet they do.
Yeah, 55-yard punt. There's no question. If you are Coach Jamie Cruz, you want Hutchinson to try to kick it again and see if you can come anywhere close to that result.
Salthawk football right here on KWBW, 1450 AM and 98.5 FM and HutchPost.com. Glad to have you along. 14-10. Hutch with the lead and punting the football right now with 9:13 to go in this 3rd quarter of play. And Hutchinson now deep in their own end zone will punt the football. Mays and Derby are tied up at 21 all now. So Derby's rallied back to tie it up in the 3rd quarter of play, 21-21 all. Here, Hutchinson's getting set as the referees are gathered together at about the 25-yard line to talk things over. I think they're registering exactly what the infraction was and at what time during the game did it take place with 9:13 to go.
Now remember, Campus would have had the ball on their own 30 had that penalty not taken place. Let's see what field position they get after the penalty.
Odd score out in western Kansas. TMP 8, Cimarron 8.
That is an odd score.
In the third quarter of play. Southeast of Saline's playing some good ball. They're leading at 30-0 over Smoky Valley in the third quarter of play. And Meade a final over Nest City, 56-6. So the Buffalo roll over Nest City tonight in big action, in football action. Most of these are third quarter scores that are coming in. We'll pass a couple more to you. Dodge City 21, Dodge City 12, Garden City 21. So Dodge City starting to come back a little bit on the Buffaloes.
If I remember right, that game is in Dodge City.
I think so.
Tonight.
And El Dorado 14, Circle 12. What's taking so long with the officials to get everything indicated? And now they write it down. Still waiting for the White Hat to say we could go. Boy, this is taking the punt team taking a long time for the Salthawks to wait. Now they'll break huddle and go up quickly, and they'll snap the football. Sprinting up to the line of scrimmage. Bad snap, but they get the kick away. And let's see if this one takes another Hutchinson bounce. And it will. It'll be touched about midfield. Actually, it's going to roll to about the 48-yard line. So Campus
picked up 18 yards.
With a great opportunity, and something happened on that far side now. As it's right at the 50-yard line. It's over by the Salthawk bench. And the referees get everybody separated. They'll mark it at the 48. That's a heck of a kick still, after being marked backward. Campus will have the football in great field position, and the referees are going to get together again.
See Christian Seacard for Campus coming out of that mob of people with the universal sign of, why are you saying I did something? He had both palms up in the air, out to the side. He still does on the sideline even.
They're going to mark it at the 48. So Campus will have the football 1st and 10 on their own 48 with 8:54 to go in this third quarter of play. Campus starting to rally back. They rallied back to tie it at 7-all. Hutch took the lead at 14-7. Then they got the 52-yard field goal with 18 seconds to go in the third period of play to make it 14-10, and that's where we stand. So now it's the Hutchinson defense that's got to get going.
No flags came out of that situation. Now the play clock expired.
The turn to give to the right side, but I don't think they caught it in time, or did they? Pickup of a couple yards by Johnson on the keeper. So they'll give him 3 on the carries. Second down and 6, actually 4 on the carries. Second down and 6 inside of Salthawk territory at the 48.
There's always a hidden statistic on penalties, because even though technically that was a 5-yard penalty against Hutchinson on the punt, the net result of that penalty was 18 extra yards for Campus.
Rhodes at the fullback spot for Campus. Now Johnson still the quarterback. The turn to Rhodes, gives to Rhodes. He's across the 45, falls forward to about the 44-yard line. It's going to bring up a third down and short situation for the Campus Colts. Campus at 0-6 record, very misleading, Dan. We talked about that on the pregame. And even Coach Werner was really concerned with this team, although he knew his Salthawks were focused. So a big third down call here. See if the Salthawk defense can withstand the rush right here. They turn to give again to Rhodes. He's got the first down and more all the way down to the 35-yard line. So the flex bone working right now for Campus High. That moves the chains.
Barrett Rhodes normally plays offensive guard and wears number 55. Tonight he's wearing number 45, and he's getting quite a bit of action at fullback.
Carried it to the 36, 1st and 10 now for the Campus Colts. Clock moving, 7:26 to go in the third. A whole lot of football game left for both teams. That sets up defensively. See if the Salthawks show blitz. They do not. And keeping on the outside, it's going to be Johnson trying to turn upfield. He gets around the corner, but then stumbles. Coming up was Newquist to put enough pressure on him, and he carries it forward. But that's a nice pickup by Johnson all the way up to the 28-yard line of Hutchinson. Second down and short.
Hard to tell whether that was a quarterback draw by design or if it was just a broken play.
He tried to dip inside and dipped outside when he saw Newquist. Newquist got him around the ankle enough to trip him up. but not before he picked up about 8 yards on the carry. So 2nd down and 2 now for the Campus Colts. They go right to left as you listen and watch. It's a nice football facility here at the middle school. Man in motion. There's the pitch on the outside. The pitch on the outside to Scheller. Scheller turns the corner, still in bounds at the 20 down to the 15, and then drop right there. It'll be a 1st down for the Campus Colts as they'll move the chains.
Right now, all of the momentum is with Campus.
So they carried it down inside the 20. Let's see where they mark it at the 17-yard line. 1st and 10. That time it was Scheller turning around the outside. He's a senior, 5'7", little guy. He's 140 pounds dripping wet, but he carried around the outside with some force.
This is where Hutchinson wants to create a turnover. Do something to turn the tide.
1st and 10 from the 17 of Hutchinson. Colts on the move. Down by 4. Turn straight ahead running. They'll give it straight ahead, and not much there, but pick up after some Salt Hawk contact was made up to about, they move it inside the 15 down to about the 14-yard line. So 2nd down and 6. 5:34 to go in this 3rd quarter, and right now Campus is on the move.
Going to be a character check for the Hutchinson Salt Hawks in this game tonight.
2nd down and 6. Ball on the 14 of Hutch. Man in motion. Turns straight ahead running again. This time it's going to be Rhodes straight up the middle. He gets it down to about the 11. It's going to bring up 3rd down and 4. 3rd and around 4 situation for the Campus Colts as the clock goes under 5 minutes here in the 3rd quarter of play.
Campus went with 2 tight ends the last couple of plays. They want to run some power football.
So Campus breaks huddle. They're on the right hash mark.
Power formation again.
In their black-clad uniforms. Johnson, the quarterback, keeps it himself around the left side, steps up front, and he's going to be close to the 1st down. I think he's about a half a yard short from where the sideline judge came in to mark it. It's going to bring up a 4th down situation. So decision time here. Do you go for it on 4th down at about a foot?
The way they're moving the ball, I would.
I think I would too. I was going to say, or kick the field goal and pull within 1. But right here, even if you don't get the 1st down for the game, if the play blows up on you, you still got Hutch deep in their own territory.
Power formation right now. Campus offensive line is driving Hutchinson back.
And whistle on the play before the
might have been a timeout.
Might have been a timeout taken before the play got off. And they act like it's going to be a timeout. So it will be a timeout. Campus took the timeout. That comes with 3:56 to go in this 3rd quarter play. Campus on the drive, 4th down and 1. They have the ball deep inside of Salt Hawk territory. We'll be back in 30 seconds on the Salt Hawk Radio Network.
Hutchinson High School Sports is on air thanks to these outstanding Salt Hawk boosters. The Medicine Shop, Portfolio Recovery Associates, Hayden's & Co. Salon and Beyond, American Family Insurance Agent Travis Rodenbaugh, APAC Shears, Pools Plus, First National Bank, Next Tech Wireless, the Summit of Hutchinson with Doctors Lowen and Severud, Prairie Star Health Center, Ashcraft Pharmacy, Axel's Taxi, and Edward Jones Financial Advisor William Thacker. Thanks for listening.
Well, the Campus Colts breaks huddle. Now they'll have it 4th down and 1 on the 8-yard line of Hutchinson. It's as simple as that. You get a big stop here, and you take over on downs. So they'll belly up right up to the line of scrimmage. Johnson has Rhodes in his tailback spot. He gives it to Rhodes, and he has the 1st down. Carries it forward across the 5 down to about the 4-yard line. 1st and goal for Campus High, and the Campus players down prone on the 5-yard line. Now he's trying to get up, and he finally does. And now he falls down, and going down hard is
Kyle Butcher.
Kyle Butcher. He's going to be okay, I believe, but they're going to come out and attend to him. So, Dan, as simple as this, it's 1st and goal from the 4 for Campus. Hutchinson's going to have to, like you said, a little character check, a little gut check, try to get things stopped right here. If you do give up the touchdown, there's a whole lot of game left. That's one thing. And Hutchinson has been moving the football.
definitely a game worth staying with tonight, folks. You never want to see a player get hurt under any circumstances. Hutchinson could use this break in the action as an opportunity to regroup. And the good news is Kyle Butcher is up and walking off the field under his own power. So you hope that this gives that Hutchinson defense an opportunity to try to get it together.
Yeah, big man tried to stand up, and he just went straight down. So he's working his way up, like you said, under his own power, so I think he's going to be okay. So they'll come back in a first and goal situation and try to punch it into the end zone to take the lead in this contest.
Chase Kepler is on the training table with his helmet off for Hutchinson, so at this point it looks unlikely that he'll be able to return tonight.
So Hutch is back out there defensively.
The players in Hutchinson football, it's kind of a long-standing tradition. You leave your helmet on at all times unless you have an injury.
So here we go. Campus lines up at the 4-yard line of Hutchinson. They'll give a straight ahead running. Looked like there might have been a man in motion, so a false start, I believe, against Campus. We'll be certain on the call here in a second. Looked like there was, will be a false start. There's 2 in motion. That's the problem with that. Sometimes with that offense.
Yeah, you have to signal. The L and the R, the slot backs, they need to signal to each other about which one are going to, which one of them will go in motion on the next play.
So backs it up 5. They'll mark the football at the 9-yard line of Hutchinson. So first and goal from the 9.
Campus has been running just power football on this possession that started on their own 48.
Man in motion, they give it away, and it's going to be slant back to the right side is going to be Scheller. He picked up that penalty back again by picking up at about 5 yards.
Kyle Butcher is coming back into the game, so he's okay.
He's okay. They'll mark that right at they're going to say the 6-yard line, so pick up a 3 on the play. That's second down and goal from the 6. So Campus knocking on the Salt Hawk door with 2:45 to go here in the third period of play. Hutch leading at 14-10. Down under center. A give this time to Rhodes. He's stacked up, and that's going to be Patterson coming in, along with help from my friends, you could say, over there on that far side. And doing a great job out there. For Hutchinson was Griffin Cook.
Yes.
He came in to help make the stop. So Patterson and Cook stood him straight up. He got to the 5-yard line and went no further.
Third down and goal from the 5.
Simple as this. You get the stop here. I don't know if they'll go for it or 4th down or not. They might decide against it. Here's a man in motion. He'll pitch it on the outside on the edge, trying to turn the edge and get into the end zone, and it is in there for a touchdown for Campus. Just went around that outside, got the blocking when he needed it, and was able to get in and score.
Garrett Denning.
I think it was Scheller.
Oh, I always thought it was 14. I'm sorry.
Okay, I think it was Scheller that took it around that outside. We'll find out for sure, but 6 on the board for Campus. They take the lead at 16-14. He had some blockers out there, didn't he?
Yes, he did. That was rocket toss to the left. Campus ran it very well.
Here's Hess's kick. It's up and on its way, and it is good. And your score, with 1:48 to go in the third quarter of play, Campus has rallied back to take a 17-14 lead over the Salt Hawks. We await the Campus kickoff coming your way right after this timeout.
Need to send someone money? Pay a babysitter? Split the bill? Use First Pay. It is the person-to-person payment option located right inside your online banking app. There is no need to download an additional application. It is simple, safe, and secure. We're first for you. Visit fnbhutch.bank to learn more, or click on your First National Bank app to get started. You can also stop into a location nearest you, and we're happy to help. First National Bank of Hutchinson, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Well, we have confirmation. It was Denning on that 5-yard touchdown and run around the left side on the rocket toss for Campus. Makes it 17-14. Got ourselves a ball game.
Yes, we do. Stay with this one, folks. It's going down to the wire, it looks like. There have been several Campus games against Hutchinson that have worked out that way through the years.
Here comes the kickoff. It's going to sail into the end zone for the touchback, and it'll come out to the 20. So Hutch has set up shop there. Cheney all over Nickerson, Dan, 47-0. This is a third quarter score. That game all but over. Garden City, Don City's getting tight, 21-19. Garden City with a 2-point lead for the Hatchet game out in western Kansas. How about that?
You know, you could almost throw the records out the window every year when Dodge and Garden play each other. It's one of those rivalry games.
Hutchinson breaks the huddle. It sends a wide out. That's going to be O'Sullivan. He had a TD catch last week against South on that left side. Malachi Miller on the right. Here's Lang. He'll pitch it on the outside. Here's Hogan across the 20 up to the 25-yard line. And once again, he gets that 5-yard pickup on that pitch around the end. You can send him up the middle or you can send him around the outside, and he'll get it done for 5. And it'll be 2nd down and 5 for Hutchinson.
Christian Seacard is slow getting up, just right there on the campus sideline where the play was made, where the tackle was made. Looks like he's okay.
Marmaton Valley 48, Center 36. Now Marmaton Valley hung 106 on Oswego last week. They won at 106-98. That was the final score of that game.
You score 98 points and you don't win?
You score 98 points and you don't win. The Eagles had a tough night. Here, Hutchinson trails it right now by 3, 17-14. Campus with the lead. Hutch 2nd down and 5. Give to Hogan. He's wrapped up immediately, but he carries forward for about 3 yards. It's going to bring up a 3rd down and short situation for the Salt Hawks.
But that carry is another sign, another more evidence that Zach Hogan is physically feeling much better, because there really should not have been any gain at all on that play. He was hit at the line of scrimmage and wrapped up, but still he carried a couple of Campus Colts with him for a 3-yard gain.
Hogan with over 60 yards in this game. Hung 173 on South last week, plus 3 touchdowns. Lang, the quarterback for Hutch. He gets set, man in motion, and gives a straight ahead running. Hogan's trying to get to the 1st down, and I think he did. Second effort got that 1st down for Hogan. Great job around that left side.
Turned into a big Campus crowd tonight. It was a late arriving crowd, plus senior night. A lot of the fans were down on the track with their senior son or daughter.
One of Hayesville's finest patrol officer down leading the cheers down here and doing a good job of it.
And the student section loves it.
Here's a man in motion. It was the 1st down here. Lang kicks it on the outside. There's Hogan, left side, and he gets another 1st down for Hutch. Instead of 5 yards, he rattled off 12 on that carry. They'll move it across the 40 up to about the 42-yard line unless it's coming back, and we do. We have a personal foul chop block against Hutchinson. It's coming back.
2nd time tonight that Hutchinson has been flagged for a chop block.
So that was going to be a huge pickup for Hogan, at least a 12-yard carry. It's going to come back, and they'll set it up again.
What that means is one player was engaged with a defensive player blocking him, and then another blocker came in and hit that defensive player below the waist.
This one's going to take it all the way back. It's going to be 1st down all over again, but it's going to be at the 16-yard line. So they got to go to the 41 for the 1st down.
That's a tough break. Very tough break for Hutchinson.
So 1st and 25 for Hutchinson. And that's going to be the end of the 3rd quarter of play. We go to the 4th. Hutchinson trailing, Campus on top, 17-14. We'll be back after this 1-minute timeout on the Salt Hawk Radio Network.
If you or your loved one is 65 or over, it's that time again. Time to review your Medicare Part D coverage. Plan options change every year, but Ashcraft Pharmacy, your locally owned Health Mart pharmacy, can help you make sense of it all. We have special software that can help you compare plans and choose the best options so you get the medications you need at the lowest out-of-pocket cost. Stop by Ashcraft Pharmacy in South Hutchinson today, or give us a call to set up your free Medicare plan review. Health Mart, caring for you and about you.
Forward. Always moving. Never stagnant. Together. Nothing great is ever accomplished without it. At Fee Insurance Group, we've been working side by side with our clients for more than a century. Together with individuals, organizations, and communities, we look ahead to protect the people, places, and things they love. We're Fee Insurance Group. Forward. Together.
Here we go to the fourth quarter play. Hutchinson with it deep in their own territory, facing a 1st and 25.
Not to belabor a point, but that wiped out a 12-yard gain. Instead, Hutchinson went back 15 yards, so that's really a 27-yard penalty in essence.
Lang wants to throw, looks across to the right side, catch is made. Hogan gets it. He's all the way back up to the 28, so he got a chunk of that back. It's going to bring up a 2nd down and 12 situation. Nice pickup by Hogan. 2nd and 12 from, again, they're going to mark it right around the 27-yard line.
Zach Hogan with 18 yards receiving and 79 yards rushing in this game.
Lang, ball on the right hash mark, man in motion. Wants to throw it again, throws out. He has Kokar out there. Kokar trying to make the catch, and he does make the catch. He'll call it. He catches it as he went down at the 38, moved the chains. Kokar with a highlight reel, perfect catch.
42-yard gain on the pass reception.
My goodness, I saw him. Now listen, I got a big bar right in the front of me here, but I saw him open here and then catch it over in this window. And he drops it down to the 38, and Lang throws a dime right on the money.
My math was a little bit off, though, but it was 34-yard gain.
It was a good gain, no, nonetheless. So Lang, the quarterback. He'll have Burgess in the slot on the right side. Hogan will be at that tailback slot this time. That's fine, Kokar. There he is, split. They'll give it to Hogan straight ahead running, a little delayed draw across the 35 down to about the 33-yard line. So Hutchinson starting to churn away with 10:35 to go. This is in the fourth quarter. This is a case where Mike Vernon and staff is probably saying, hey, guys, just settle down a little bit. We're fine. We got a whole quarter of football left. We're down by 3, but let's drive the ball right down. And you can show they're getting it done by the run and the pass. 2nd down and 6. Ball right at the 34-yard line of campus. Lang to give to Hogan. Hogan off the right side. He's wrapped up after a pickup, though, positive yardage to the 32.
That Hutchinson offensive line doing a nice job. That's Sammy Christians, Mason Seitz, Cooper Doobie, Camden Jensen into the game, replacing the injured Chase Kepler, and Daley Van Sickle at right tackle.
Love the way you say Doobie's name.
He's a good center. Very good center.
Doing a great job out there. Cooper Doobie. There to give. Again, Hogan getting lost in a crowd. He's going to be short of the 1st down by about a yard, but positive pickup. But that was Burgess on the carry. Excuse me.
Got to go for it here, don't you?
Yes, you do. Burgess on the carry. Picks up close to 3 yards. It's 4th and 1. Hutch going with a hurry up. O'Sullivan will come in on that tight end side on that left side. Man of motion's Kokar. They fake it. Is it a false start? If it's a false start, that's going to back it up and make it a lot harder. It's going to be encroachment. It's an automatic 1st down for the Salthawks. Move the chains with 9:14 to go in the fourth quarter of play. Hutch down 17-14, but knocking on the door of campus.
The difference in the game, if you missed it, with just a few seconds to play in the second quarter, a 52-yard field goal made by campus Aiden Hess.
And that is the difference in the ball game. Now the ball on the 24-yard line, not in the red zone yet for the Salthawks, but they're moving in the right direction. They'll set up wide, left side, and now timeout's going to be taken. We'll get a break in as well. 8:51 remaining to go in the fourth quarter of play. We'll step aside with Campus leading Hutchinson 17-14 in the fourth quarter. Hutch on the drive, however. We'll be right back.
End of summer is always a sad time for us here at Pools Plus. Swimming pools are all closed up, but grills and fire pits are lit up for fall. And Pools Plus has the perfect outdoor furniture setup to help entertain your crew. Come to Pools Plus and shop all the fun, bright-colored rockers, Adirondacks, tables, and more. Buy a spa and search for the downtown Hutch Pumpkin during October right here at Pools Plus. Shop local. Shop Pools Plus, 21 East 1st in downtown Hutchinson.
8:51 to go, fourth quarter action. Campus 17, Hutchinson 14. Ball on the 24 of Campus, 1st and 10 Hutch. It's as simple as this. Take care of the football and continue to move the football. Man in motion, back to passes. Lang looks to the outside and catches. Made in the end zone. Touchdown Hutchinson. Who else? Kokar with the catch.
That was a beautiful throw, and Noah Kokar just continues to find ways to get open. The ball hit him right in stride in the end zone. This drive started on the Hutchinson 25-yard line with 1:48 to go in the third. Hutchinson with a very impressive bounce-back drive.
That one surprised me. I thought they were going to run the football, but they went for the bomb 24-yard touchdown to Kokar, and he converts. Now, Runyon comes in. Important extra point here. Kick is up and on its way, and it is good. And Hutchinson's regained the lead, 21-17 over the Campus Colts. Again, with 8:46 to go in this fourth quarter of play. Don't go away. They say the whole seat down, but you only need the edge in this one. We'll be back in 30 seconds right after this timeout.
Apex Shears has deep roots in Kansas. This is Tom Stivers. We were started by George Shears in 1874, just 3 years after the founding of Hutchinson, and are Hutchinson's first contractor. Apex Shears is known for big highway projects, but think local when you need a new driveway, parking lot, or other paving project. Apex Shears is proud to provide local jobs and employ local people. Find out more about your local construction and aggregate company by visiting apexshears.com. A CRH company.
Well, how about Kokar? They go long on a 1st down and 10 from the 24, and he gathers it in the corner of the end zone against some pretty good coverage out there, Dan, and he gathered it in for 6.
Good protection for Nick Lang. The offensive line gave him time to plant his feet and throw it. He put it right on the money.
Runyon's going to kick off. Let's see if he can reach the end zone, and he gives it a kick, and it's going to be taken at the 10, and it's going to be returned. So they'll start to set up the blocking and then getting drilled right at the 24-yard line. Trying to return it was Sheeler. Good defense out there by Hutchinson.
Well, who do I keep saying is the best open field tackler in the state of Kansas?
That'd be Hackney.
It was Hackney. What a beautiful tackle in the open field.
Grandma Sophie's jumping up and down in Texas right now. Now we have a flag on the play. It's going to be against Campus, so that's going to be huge. That's going to put them way back in their own territory with 8:41 to go in the contest. This can flip the field in a big way. So they'll back it up.
If the defense can force a 3-and-out, Hutchinson can go on a sustained drive. They could very definitely put this game away with a defensive stop here.
1st and 10 from the 13. Let's see if Rodriguez comes up in a big way or not. He's had a couple pretty good plays tonight. Let's see what they do here. Cunningham and Hackney split on that outside. Hutch might be coming with a blitz. They'll send a man in motion, and there's Johnson trying to turn the corner against some pressure, and he's dropped at about the 15-yard line, pick up a couple. Johnson kind of ran out of real estate and came back to his left, and that's where the surge of the Hutchinson defense is coming from the inside.
Yeah, Ben Patterson was right there, and you're not getting away from Ben Patterson.
So they give him a couple yards on the carry. It'll be a 2nd down and 8 situation from the 16.
If you like the movie Top Gun, Ben Patterson is kind of like Iceman.
He is kind of like Iceman out there. All right, here we get set. Johnson goes back and says something to Rhodes, his fullback, or tailback. Pitch on the outside. There's a rocket pitch trying to turn the corner, and then they do. And Patterson's going to wrap up along with a whole host of players across the 20. Ball popped loose, but they say no, they were down.
I think he got the first down.
Might have got the first down. See exactly where they do spot it, and I think it is enough for the first down. So there was a fumble recovered by the offense. Ben Patterson talking to the official. They'll mark it at the 24 for the 1st and 10, so they'll move the chains. And Campus was able to get out of that hole. Right now they trail at 21-7 with 7:41 to go in this 4th quarter of play. The Hudson touchdown quieted the Campus team a little, crowd a little bit, I should say. Now we get set. Johnson up under center. Brody Johnson. Turn to give the road, straight ahead running. And he stood up straight, but he falls forward. He's such a big body. Fell to the 30-yard line. Pick up a 6 on the place. It will bring up a 2nd down and 4.
Rhodes at 6 feet, 220 pounds. And he's used to playing in the trenches as a lineman. Converted to a fullback. Looks good in that position.
Yeah, he really does. Now, he got stood up, and I thought maybe he's going to get bent back over, but he's so tall it fell forward again to about the 30-yard line. So 2nd down and 4 now for Campus High. Johnson gives away, straight ahead running, and all the way up. Is there loose football? I think it is loose. Hutch comes out with a Newquist with the fumble recovery, and Hutch will take over, and a grand opportunity with 6:38 to go to put this game away. Nice job by Newquist. I thought I saw the ball squirt forward, but I wasn't sure. And when by the reaction of the Hutchinson team, and what a big pickup by Newquist, kind of look what I found.
That is so huge in a game like this that's been back and forth, to pick up an extra possession, and you're in Campus territory on their 38-yard line.
A huge turnover as the ball came out of Rhodes' hands and Johnson's hands. Hutchinson with the football now. Clock nearing the 6.5-minute mark of this 4th quarter to give to Hogan. He hangs on to the football. He's across the 35 down to about the 34-yard line. A hard-earned 4 yards for Hogan with 6:26 to go. And Hutchinson could do 2 things. They can run a little clock, but also move the football. If you should score, they'd put this one away.
Yeah, no matter what, Hutchinson wants to come away with points. And you'll take points whenever you can get them at this stage of the football game.
Stay tuned for the KWBW scoreboard show. It'll be coming your way at 9:30 with Nick Gosnell. He's going to have some good scores tonight. As McPherson on the wrong end right now. They trail Mulvane by 1. Throw on the outside. Catch is made out there by Hogan. Got it on the fingertips, and he carries it forward close to the 1st down. Let's see where they mark it. It's about a half a yard short. He barely caught that football over there and played with it like an Easter egg just about, tucked it away and took it up, and it's going to be 3rd down and 1.
It was hard to tell from this angle whether it was a forward pass or a lateral. I think it was intended to be a pass, but if he had not caught it, it could have been trouble.
Hogan had to stretch out to get to it. Zach Hogan, 5'10", 175. Had a great offseason this summer, worked hard to get into this position where he's at.
Had to struggle through some injuries early in the season, but he certainly looks at full speed now.
He's back at a tailback spot right now on 3rd down and 1. Here to give to Hogan, straight ahead running. He's got the 1st down to the 25-yard line. So 1st and 10 for the Salthawks with 5:05 to go in this 4th quarter of play. They're driving and they lead at 21-17. Well, Mike Vernon said this one's going to be a close one. He said he was a little worried. And he was correct. Campus a better team than they've showed all season long.
I thought Hutchinson would put up more points in this game than has worked out. And at this stage, it doesn't really matter how many points they score as long as it's more than Campus, because you definitely want to escape with a win.
1st and 10 for the Salthawks on the 25-yard line of Campus. Here's Lang, gives it off to Hogan. Hogan, this time he's going to be stopped short. No gain on the play. That's a rarity right there tonight. Hogan's getting 5 and 6 yards easily. 21-17, Hutchinson leads with 4:19 to go.
That play was well defended. Now, these point differentials do mean something.
Yeah, they do.
For postseason seeding, because in 5A, so many teams have the same record.
You and I looked at it the other day, and we thought, hey, if we could finish off the regular season with a couple wins, we could move up. And there's a possibility. It's a long shot, but there's a possibility. Have not had a Derby and a Mays score for some time now. Got to see what they're doing. They were tied at 21.
Hutch running some clock now.
Lang, the quarterback. Turn straight ahead running, a little stagger stop, and then breaks loose and a pickup positive yards. Ball loose on the turf. They gave the ball back there for Hutchinson into the hands of Ben Patterson. And he was down. They'll mark it just short. They're going to mark it right at the 18-yard line. So 3rd down and about 4. Was worried that he'd fumbled the football away.
Hogan will go back to fullback now. No, Hogan won't go to fullback.
3rd down is the call.
Who's playing fullback now?
I don't think it is Hogan out there. Nope, it's Ben Patterson out there at fullback.
Hogan goes to the slot. Hutch was probably going to take a timeout.
I think as well, as the play clock got down to 1 and Mike Vernon calls a timeout. We're going to get timeout taken. Ball's on the 18-yard line. 3rd down and 3 from Hutchinson. 2:51 remaining to go in the 4th quarter of play. We'll be back in half a minute on the Salt Hawk Radio Network.
Hutchinson Community College and Blue Dragon Athletics are proud to support the Hutchinson Salthawks. Whether you're working towards your degree or are a busy working individual with limited time to attend class, Hutch CC has what you're looking for. And for those still in high school, Hutchinson Community College's Step Ahead program provides a head start on a quality education, and it may not cost the student anything. Visit hutchcc.edu or call 888-GO-HUTCH for more details. And good luck this season to the Salthawks.
Well, a good one going here. A 3rd down and 3 to call on the 18-yard line. Hudson leading at 21-17 with 2:51 to go. Good one going on with Mulvane and McPherson. 13-12, Mulvane with the lead in the 4th quarter of play. Mack had lost that game last week to Bueller. They can ill afford to lose another one, but they're down right now by 1. Here we go, 3rd down and 3. This could be the ball game. They give away to Patterson. He's going to be met at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play. 4th down and 3. And that play just did not develop.
It would be about a 35-yard field goal attempt. I got to believe Hutchinson is more likely to just try to pick up the 1st down. What do you think, Glenn?
Well, it's an iffy call. They're out of timeouts right now. I got to feel like Hogan would have an opportunity to pick those up, and then also you could go with a little draw or toss in the flat. They're going to reset the game clock to 2:37. That's a lot to head that back up. Now it's a 40-second play clock, so that's a little bit different. So Hutchinson on the whistle can let that run down under 2.
Yeah, campus should take a timeout here. Not sure why they're not.
So that play clock's running along, and so is the game clock. It's at 2:24. Hutch is going to let it run down and then run the play.
I'm totally perplexed why, when 40 seconds went on the play clock and the clock is running, I can't for the life of me understand why campus would allow that to happen without taking a timeout.
But they are not. So Hutchinson now sets up. Play clock down to 3. Now they go with it. They give straight ahead. Running. It's going to be down the right side and into the end zone for the touchdown. It's Armstrong. He takes it all the way in from 18 yards out on a big 4th down and 3 call. And Hutch puts 6 on the board. They lead at 27-17. How about that out of your playbook, Dan Nacarado? Pull it out and put it out. Everybody's looking at Hogan. Everybody's looking at Ben Patterson. All of a sudden, Armstrong takes it around the right side for 6.
It shows that Hutchinson has a variety of players that can get it done.
Big time play right there for Hutchinson to go up by 10, and that should be all she wrote for Campus. Kick is on its way, and Runyon makes it good. It is 28-17. Hutchinson with the lead with 1:55 to go in the contest. We'll wait the Hutchinson kickoff when we return right after this 30-second timeout on the Salt Hawk Radio Network.
Hey friends and neighbors, Nextech Wireless here with a super exciting deal. Right now is the time to get the newest iPhone or Android on us. Our friendly and knowledgeable staff is ready to get your new device set up and running right. By the way, we know that it's you who makes our business great and our neighborhoods home. Thank you, Nextech Wireless customers. Visit, call, or text 877-621-2600. We are Kansas.
Welcome back to Colt Stadium in Hayesville, Kansas. 28-17. Hutchinson has regained the lead. They regained it now. They padded the lead with a 18-yard run by Armstrong that just took it around the outside. Nobody expected Daquan Armstrong to carry that ball around the outside, but the senior, he's 5'10", 154, streaked around that right side, just about untouched into the end zone. Here's a Hutchinson kickoff. It's going to be taken at the 10 again and returned up the field, and got a little opening all the way up to the 25 and stopped right there. I think the returner was Sheeler again, Dylan Sheeler.
Well, that's twice tonight that Hutchinson has scored touchdowns on fourth down plays. They did it early in the game.
This one was 4th and 3.
They did it in the first quarter and in the
they did a 4th and 9 on the pass play to Kokar. Ark City 24, Valley Center 21. That's in the fourth quarter of play. More scores coming in for you. And don't forget about the KWBW scoreboard show that'll be coming up following this ball game. It'll probably be right around the 9:30 mark.
This game will be archived, and you can go back and watch it at the Hutch Post YouTube channel.
Yeah, you bet. You go back to YouTube channel. Also, it will be on NFHS network tomorrow. There's a timeout taken by Campus. We'll get a break in as well. 1:50 to go in the contest. Hutchinson 28, Campus 17. Dan and I'll be back with more coming your way right after this 30-second timeout on the Salt Hawk Radio Network.
Cody Smith, attorney at law and an alumni of Hutch High, would like to wish the very best to the Salt Hawks this season. Cody specializes in bankruptcy and other areas of the law. If you're feeling overwhelmed with debt, give Cody a call. Don't wait until creditors garnish your bank account or paycheck. Call Cody Smith, attorney at law, at 620-259-2424 or visit codysmith.law. That's .L-A-W. Cody is a debt relief attorney, helping people file for relief under the bankruptcy code. Go Salt Hawks.
Well, I started this broadcast talking about that, how great football was. You're playing a game on Friday night, you're looking for a win, and on Saturday you're going to find it, and that's what's going to happen to the Salt Hawks.
That was a great quote.
And it will take care of business here with 1:50 to go unless something just unexpectedly happens with Campus, as they'll pitch it around that left side and try to turn the corner around the left, and picks up about 5 yards on the carry, and on that carry is going to be Garrett Denning. So they've been primarily going with Sheeler and a little bit with Rhodes, but right now they spread it out and go to Denning, and it's going to pick up about 6 on the carry. 2nd down and 4 remaining. Clock inside of 1:44.
I think Campus is somewhat conceited. They're letting a lot of clock run off before they're snapping the football.
Now they put Sheeler out in the slot. Johnson wants to throw the football, and he's going to be chased. Trying to get to him and knocking it away. Incomplete pass, just about a pick out there. Newquist was hunting for that, thought he was going to get it. Also, there's a flag on the play. Jefferson was giving.
And Hippen.
Yeah, Aaron Jefferson was out there really trying to come up with the sack, and so was Hippen, but a flag flies, more than likely a hold.
Oh, had a lineman downfield. That happens sometimes.
Yes, it does when the quarterback scrambles away. And they'll mark it back. And they'll mark it right at the 27-yard line. It'll be a first and, check that, 2nd down and 9 is going to be the call for Campus. Inside of 1:26 to go in this contest. Campus The score remains, we'll go 0-7. Hutchinson will go to 4-3. Get set to take on the Mays Eagles next week that were locked up in a good one with Derby, which had Ark Valley Chisholm Trail League championship written all over it. To throw across the middle, just about picked off, but the tackle was made as soon as the ball got to the receiver. That receiver is Denning.
Ben Patterson, right there on the spot.
And Campus is probably taking their final timeout with 1:24 to go. They'll come out and chat, and we're going to keep it here because this will set up a big game next week with Mays. We will be at Mays, just a short little 45-mile drive up K96, folks. And if you can't make it, be glad to join us on the stream. I think Mays might charge for their stream. I believe they do. So ours is completely free.
I am so proud of you, Glenn, and Kevin Armstrong for making these broadcasts
and by
free
the way,
to listeners.
With it being an NFHS member, Hutch High pays a fee each year, and we make it free to our listeners as well as the viewers. So here we go. 3rd down and 7 now for Campus. Back to pass. Johnson throws it out. High arching shot. There's a pick by Hackney. Hackney on the return. He's at the 35. Cuts back upfield. Spins around. He's still on his feet to the 40. He's breaking loose down the sideline. He's going to be shoved finally out of bounds at about the 23-yard line. There's a flag on the play. What a return on the pick by Hackney.
My gosh, Hackney showed some moves on that return and the pick itself. He had to go high in the air to catch it.
Devin Hackney, one of our favorites, gathered it in at about the 40 and returned it all the way down to the Campus 24-yard line. The flag flew. We'll see what that's going to be as they sort things out. But it'll be a Salt Hawk 1st and 10, and that's going to seal the victory with 1:07 remaining to go in the contest.
Yep, Hutchinson doesn't even need to try to pick up any yards. They can go to victory formation.
Hackney looked like Willie Mays going back to catch that ball at about the 40-yard line. He had a whole host of blockers, but then he made a nice move at about the 40, took it down to the 25-yard line. 1st and 10 from the Campus 25, and it's victory formation time. And the Campus fans are starting to vacate Colt Stadium as they see their Colts down right now 28-17 inside of 50 seconds to go. What a interception by Hackney to seal the deal. Sophie's jumping around right now, and I see across the way all kinds of flashlights out from the student section here for the Salt Hawks. As you can see him waving the
That's cool.
waving the flashlights. We'll let Matt maybe zero in on that as they're the student section just waving the cameras over there. Now they turn them off, and that's going to do it.
Almost looked like at a concert when the crowd wants an encore.
The clock's going to run out. Hutchinson comes away and rallies back to get the win, 28-17. That's going to be your final. We'll get set for the Medicine Shop post-game wrap coming your way. Your final from Hayesville, Hutchinson 28, Campus 17. We'll be back right after this 2-minute timeout.
All Vader Jackson Financial Advisors are now Envision Investment Group. Due to the growth of the investment and client relations team, they have a new location to better serve you. 15 Compound Drive in Hutchinson. Stay tuned for an open house. Time and date to be announced.